going on? Uh, 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 uh. What's going on, chat? What's going on, dudes? What's up, Tic Tac? How's everybody's Friday going? I thought it was Saturday. I was so dead set on it being Saturday for like 5 seconds just now. What's going on, guys? The House voted to extend government funding for 3 months, hours before a shutdown deadline. They're not going to shut down? Dude, Washington Time needs to chill. $25 a month for the news is insane. The Washington Post, I mean, they need to chill, dude. Nope, they didn't pass. It didn't pass? That was 42 minutes ago. It passed? Okay. Crisis averted? Oh, thank God. Okay. No shutdown. Good stuff. What's up,
No
Kellogg?
shutdown.
What's up?
What's going on? How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good.
You good? Good. Got you some good rest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are we doing 12 hours a day? How long we staying up tonight?
Oh, who knows? I guess, yeah, for the most part of the night. Yeah.
All right.
We'll
All
be
right.
here.
You know I'm here. I got your back.
Okay.
I got your back.
I appreciate
So
you.
yeah, no government. I appreciate you. Okay, so no government shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
Crisis averted. President Elon got the smackdown. It is just so annoying.
Let's see what the final deets on the bills.
So basically, from what I understood, the way I understood it, they just basically went back to the first one. Because they did not extend the debt ceiling either.
Government shutdown. House spins bills. Senate ahead of live Sunday.
James, go ahead and request up. We do friendly debates.
What's up? Yeah, chat. If you are a Trump supporter and you want to debate, hop in the box. Shutdown of a wide range of effects, of course. Hello.
While he's looking that up, chat, let's go ahead and get Pickles on the FYP. Let's get to 20K right quick. Share the live. If you're not following him, what's wrong with you? Go ahead and hit that follow button.
What's wrong with you? Hit the follow, guys. Hit the tabs. Share the lives. So, hey, man, I thought I'd come up and do just a quick news update because these are the things that people are going to say and you'll be like, I got to look that up. Justin Trudeau, they're having some problems in Canada. They're about to shut down the Canadian government.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they're about to go a vote of shit, what's it called? I'm having a brain fart.
No,
yeah. That one.
Confidence?
No confidence. They're going to have a vote of no confidence. And if that goes through, they're probably going to shut down till, I believe, February. So this is kind of affecting everybody. Donald Trump may have a new haircut. I don't know.
I keep hearing that. I've seen him with his hat off.
Have you seen this?
It just looks like he took his hat off and his hair was kind of hatted up.
I don't know, man. I think he's trying to make a statement. I don't know. When you're the president, you don't go out with hat head. You know what I mean? That's not something.
Is it like a pompadour? Right. This? It looks like he's holding his hat in his hand.
I don't know.
It's the mullet.
It's the MAGA mullet. Exactly.
Wait, is this it? Is this today?
No,
wait, let me see.
Oh, that's the night. No.
Where he's standing, he's got the white polo on.
This one.
Yeah.
That old thing.
I don't know, man. We're gonna have to see it again. I'm gonna need a. We're gonna need a recount.
Dude, he looks like he could definitely be the villain on Mad Max, like Fury Road. He could definitely be Big Joe, dude.
I was thinking Biff. I was thinking Biff from Back to the Future for sure.
There he is. That's what Trump's reminds me of, dude. All of his
I
like
can't see.
his medals for doing nothing. Oh shit, you can't even see what I'm looking at. This is what he looks like.
Okay.
That's not. I wasn't
Oh my
expecting that.
God. I
Yeah.
was not thinking about this.
Like he would give himself medals. Like look at all those medals, dude. He would, dude.
He would. He sure would.
There it is.
Are you rolling solo tonight?
Yeah, I think so. Well, yeah. Yeah. I
Okay,
think so.
cool.
Please.
Yep, cool. Cool beans. Cool beans.
Let's see what else. Elon Musk came out in support of the AfD. I don't know if you know who that is. That is the far right wing German party.
Yeah, I heard
They
that.
hold the
Amy,
same-
thank you
the
for the
s-
subscription, by the way. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, like the neo-Yahtzee party of Germany.
Yeah,
He's getting his
they
little
hold the same
dirty
values and
fingers in there.
principle or policies.
Dude, that's scary. Like, Rupert Murdoch and him are like planning. Like, the second I saw them, what was it at the Super Bowl together? I was like, what the fuck? Like, dude, he's got to be meddling in the world's politics now with Rupert Murdoch.
Well, he said he's going to be. Was it Telegraph? The UK paper said that he's been visiting with the far right wing leader who's running for office in the UK as well.
Okay.
He's bankrolling everybody, man.
That's
Brendan-
just too much.
Brendan, are you a Trump supporter, by the way?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Alrighty. What do you like about Trump?
I like that he is committed to dismantling the permanent political class.
The what?
The permanent political class.
Like who?
Like, well, Joe Biden's a great example.
Okay.
He's been in office for how long?
He's been in the Senate and he's been in Congress for like 30, 40 years, 50 years.
Yeah, there you go.
But I don't think he's like out here pulling string. Like he's president now, but like in the Senate, he was just being he was a public servant. I don't think that's a horrible thing. Serve the public for 30 years.
Well, yeah, you call it service, but it's clear he was serving himself.
How so?
Well, you're familiar with the term white glove as it applies to organized crime?
Sure.
Okay, so obviously his son, not having any qualifications to sit on a board of a foreign petrochemical company, collected
Hold on.
millions of dollars.
Let's
Well,
talk about that. What do you think? What do you think Hunter Biden? What do you think his qualifications are?
He has no qualifications
That's
for
not
sitting
true.
on a board of a petrochemical company in Ukraine.
All right, let's talk about it. So, what did Hunter Biden do before that? Do you know?
Wasn't he an attorney?
Yep. He also did a lot of stuff for Amtrak. You know who they are?
Yeah, the locomotion company, the train company. So wait, are you saying that because he was an attorney in the United States that qualifies him to be an attorney in Ukraine or Russia?
No. So basically, he did a lot of consulting for people who moved energy and doing logistics with Amtrak, which is exactly what, guess who does?
So your position is, and just out of curiosity, does Hunter Biden speak Russian?
No.
Right. So
What does that matter?
Well, it matters because I'm sure that there are tens of thousands of individuals that are more eminently qualified for that position than Hunter Biden, and a guy who doesn't even speak the language. It's clear to anyone who's actually being honest that the only reason that Hunter Biden had that position was
they
so
speak
that
English.
Joe Biden could
A lot of them
use
speak
his
English there.
influence. Yeah, I get that. But if he's going to be practicing law or working in any type of logistical capacity in a foreign country, it's probably a good idea to speak the language. And the idea that you're refuting that fact only underscores what a outrageous political hack
You said that he was completely unqualified, bro. He's obviously qualified. He has
completely
literal
unqualified.
he has qualifications in that exact industry. The thing
His
is, there's nothing
qualifications-
corrupt. There's nothing that corrupt that you guys could
Yes.
prove that happened over there. The only thing
just
that you
give it
can
a few
point to
months.
is Victor Shulkin, who
Give it a
was
few months. Yeah.
fired because Biden
Yeah,
told
that's
him.
why they put him up there.
What? I'm sorry.
Well, that's why they put him up there. And Joe Biden specifically,
why
was
he put
so
them up there.
corrupt. Yeah, Joe
No.
Biden was so corrupt that he literally, in front of cameras, said that if the prosecutor who was investigating the company that his son works for wasn't fired, that Ukraine wouldn't get $1 billion loan.
So
He bragged
you
about
have
it.
about you have this backwards. So
Oh,
the will of
okay.
the
Tell me
United
how I have it backwards.
States, the will of the United States was to get Viktor Shulkin fired because he was a prosecutor who was not investigating the corruption in Burisma. He was not so they were trying to get him ousted. Even the former leader of Ukraine came out and said this. He said Viktor Shulkin's full of shit. You know where Viktor Shulkin is now? He's in Russia. He's in Russia.
So just to be clear, what you just said is that the United States government wanted Viktor Shokin gone because he wasn't investigating Burisma. Is that right?
Correct.
Oh, and why would they be investigating Burisma?
For corruption.
Oh, so the company that was supposed to be investigated for corruption, that's the company that Hunter Biden was on.
Are you familiar with?
Is that right?
Yes. Are you familiar with Ukraine's history?
Just making sure.
Yeah, so Ukraine is up until very recently very corrupt. So Ukraine before Zelensky was mostly Russian controlled. It was a Russian puppet. It was a pro-Russian government there, and Russia's been putting Russian separatists in the Donbass region for years to try to get people there to speak ethnic Russian, to be ethnically Russian, just like you're assuming everyone in Ukraine is, which is wrong. They're Ukrainian. They don't speak Russian. They speak Ukraine. So I don't know where else to go with this, bro. You just have like the short and skinny of this situation. I don't think you know all the details.
Yeah, listen, they're corrupt from soup to nuts. Do you know how Hunter Biden made the majority of his money in the last 3 years?
How? Art?
Yes, art. So, do you know on average what one of Hunter Biden's paintings cost? Anywhere from $175,000 to $350,000. You don't suppose?
I used to date a girl that sold paintings for like tens of thousands. So that's cool.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure she went to art school and all that stuff. Do you think that Hunter Biden is qualified to be selling art for such huge sums of money? Or do you think that
it probably is some level of influence? Listen, when you're the president's son, no matter what you do, you're going to say, oh, there's some level of nepotism. No matter what, period. So no matter what, like he is getting an exorbitant amount of money for his paintings. I don't think that's as corrupt as like Trump is like insane. Like he stole money from a children's cancer charity to buy a painting of himself. If you want to talk about paintings.
I've heard that a bunch of times. And it's the same kind of cope like, Trump worked the leasing office of an apartment complex at some point. I've heard all this over and over again.
No, he owned complexes and denied rent to black people.
Oh, I know. But you see, what you have to accept is that Trump, having owned all these properties, somehow, worked the leasing office, which again is just ridiculous on its face. But you guys will believe anything that's fed to you.
Oh my goodness, the whole government got involved, bro. I don't think there's much to negotiate, like to discuss there. That this is a real thing.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be plenty to discuss right around, I'm thinking February, maybe March. They're going to start passing out indictments, things like treason. And we're all going to be loving it. You guys all be screaming treason or screaming, what is it, fascism or all this kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Keep that energy. Yes. Keep saying that.
I will.
Do you want Trump to punish his political opponents?
No, I want Trump to dispense justice, which we've been sorely.
So can you list a crime that like Biden has committed?
Treason.
What did he do to commit treason?
Taking huge bribes, not only from Ukraine, but Russia, China.
So what about Trump taking money from like Egypt, $10 million cash? They emptied their reserves. What about him taking $2 billion from Saudis?
I'm glad that you brought that up. There's a huge difference between a man that goes into Washington already having
so he's allowed to do all the corruption because he had money already,
and having a huge multinational conglomerate and a family that has never had any business other than a name selling on that name. There's a huge difference between that. But you people don't seem to want to acknowledge that. I wonder if it's because it's politically expedient.
So Trump didn't sell anything to Egypt. He didn't sell anything. He got $10 million and he deposited it right into his campaign. Did he sell product to Egypt?
I would have to look into that particular instance. I know about
okay.
the
So these
money
are actual things.
from
We have
Saudis.
people that testified in front of Congress, such as what's his name? Alexander Smirnov. He just pled guilty for lying, for giving us fake Russian information for the things you're talking about. All of these impeachments that Biden has been investigated for, they're all based on lies.
Wait, what's fake about what I said? Hunter Biden worked at Burisma. That's not in
Yeah,
question. Hunter Biden had
what did
no
he do?
qualifications.
What did he do?
That's not in question.
Is that illegal?
Yes. Did he register with FARA?
As what, a foreign agent?
Did he register with FARA?
As a foreign agent?
Correct.
No, you don't need to.
Michael Flynn would beg
overseas.
Michael Flynn would beg to differ, and
Oh,
so would
okay.
yeah. Okay.
Did Jared Kushner? Did he apply to FARA when he got $2 billion from the Saudis?
He didn't pocket that. I believe that he's moving that money as part of a.
Yeah, he's managing that money, and he's never managed money a day in his life.
So it's
and
not,
he's getting a 10%. He's getting a 10%
managing.
management fee for free for doing something like nothing. I don't know, for being named Jared Kushner.
Yeah, managing the money. What they do is they take.
What does he know about managing money?
Last I checked, he was pretty rich.
A lot of money. The Saudis need his help. What qualifications does he have? You're talking about qualifications.
Kushner's, is it?
Yeah, he's supposed to be managing it. That's what I thought.
Again,
so yeah, we're talking about fishy stuff, and you can't call it on your own side.
However many times that you like, there's a huge difference between a family and a group that has already been running multinational conglomerates before entering Washington, and then people mysteriously coming out of Washington wildly rich. Don't you see the difference there?
So Biden being in office or being in Washington for 30, 40 years, he came out poor. He was poor as fuck when he was vice president for Obama, so poor that Obama had to give him a loan to help for his dying son's medical bills. That's how poor he was. You think he was that corrupt?
Yes.
He got money off of writing some books, dude. Sorry to break.
Well, no, he hid money. He was very effective at hiding money.
Dude, he has like $10 million from writing books. It was a $10 million book deal. That's all he has. He's like $10 to $12 million.
Yeah. Do you know what Biden did between 2016 and 2020?
Speeches
for his dead son.
I don't know.
No, that's literally why he didn't. That's literally why he didn't run during the 2016 because his son had just passed and he was taking time out of politics to grieve for his dead son.
No, because it was Hillary Clinton's turn. That's how the Democrats work.
Oh God,
that's why he didn't run.
Sure,
but the question was what was Biden doing between 2016 and 2020?
Grieving his son.
Grieving for his fucking son.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
Part, did you not hear
his son was, like I just said, his son was dying while he was in office with Obama. And his adult son died of brain tumors from serving in the military next to toxic burn pits.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. And if he was grieving for his dead son, maybe he should have been concerned that his other son was getting his daughter-in-law addicted to crack. You know what I'm saying? Like if he was so concerned, maybe he would have done something about that.
What about?
But no, what he was doing is he was working as a professor for Penn State. Okay. Penn State got over $1 billion in funds from China. Do you know who bundled those funds for Penn State?
Who?
Anthony Blinken. You know who Anthony Blinken is, right?
Yes, the defense secretary.
Yeah. No, the Secretary of State. Defense Secretary is Lloyd Austin.
Okay. Sorry.
Right. Listen, I love coming up here in your lives, and I especially love reading the comments, all these other little pin-headed leftists. But we've got about 3 more months, and there will be a lot more meat on the bone for the indictments that the Trump administration hands out than there was for this pathetic law.
You guys are already mad, and you don't even know what laws people are like. Things
we're not mad. No, we're not mad. We're patient. We're patient.
Got it. All right. So you guys are more focused on people going to jail. You guys don't care about grocery prices anymore. None of that. Gas prices.
Yeah, I'm confused because how's that helping the American people? Him going after his political opponents. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and drop. I'm gonna do my mod thing. Go ahead, tap the screen. Let's get Pickles up to 50K right quick. Thank you for the 151 shares. If you like debates, if you like what Pickles is doing, give him a follow. His Cash App and Venmo is in his bio. We also have Discord. We also have Discord. The link is in his bio. If it doesn't work, copy the link and put it in your browser, and then it should work that way as well. I'll be in the chats if you guys have any questions.
All right, thank
See you.
you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, bye.
Bye. Artemis. Thank you for all the taps, guys. Thank you, chat. So Elon Musk is
Hello.
hello there, chat. If you want to debate, hop in the box. Come tell us why you like Trump. How you doing? How you doing, Artemis?
I'm doing good. The men are really angry with me today, so if I'm up here, I'm pretty sure you will get some interesting guests. It's been that day. It's been
Love
that
it.
kind of day.
Love it.
Luckily, Tic Tac was protecting his woman, me, in one of the lives. That's what happened at one point. But love to have some good conversations.
For sure.
How are you doing?
I am good. I am good, man. This channel was about PUBG Mobile. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry, YouTube. Yeah, chat. I'm not gaming anymore. For those on Twitch and YouTube, I'm not gaming anymore. I'm doing politics. Is TikTok getting banned in the U.S. next month? Who knows? Probably. Who knows? I just saw a, was it Courier? Some article. They were like, yep, TikTok's going to be banned, which scared me, but I don't know. How would they know? We got a Supreme Court hearing on the 10th.
Yeah, I was about to say, and aren't they applying for a 90-day extension?
Yeah. Talk about the government shutdown update. So it did pass. I believe it's the first version, the one with the $100 billion disaster relief and the other stuff. Hello?
Hey, good afternoon.
Hello
How
there.
are you guys?
Are you a Trump supporter?
I am.
Nice. What do you like about Trump?
Well, pretty much everything he have said. I mean, I didn't vote for Trump the first time, and I'm a long-time Democrat, right? So I voted for Obama the first time, well, both of them. And I actually voted for Hillary the first time, and then I voted for Hillary, and then this time I voted for Trump. And pretty much, the economy, and as a longtime Democrat, I just didn't like the way that they were going with, all these policies for, changing sex, at the school. And
What policy did they pass for that, or did they propose?
well, I think it was Kamala proposed to change that she will go for changing sex at the prison or something like that.
So that was already a thing during Trump years. That was already like, this is what they campaigned on this. I don't know how they sold this to y'all so well, but
Yeah.
like Kamala didn't mention this at all. I don't think ever.
Well, I mean, you might be right though. I mean, because I just heard that and I was like, okay, so but you have to understand the whole atmosphere, right? The whole thing that is going on. I mean, she would just talk. I believe like 60% of her speech was about trans and stuff that
She's never talked about trans.
Well, I mean, I guess on the well, as a matter of fact, I did listen to her, her speech and stuff, and she didn't address the border. She didn't address, the economy. She did not address.
Wait. Are you accepting the fact she didn't spend 60% of her speech on transgender individuals now? Are you moving on from that and conceding to that didn't happen?
I'm actually due because
we're going to have a very,
like,
very honest conversation right now. You're not going to just scoot on. When you get called out for lies, you're not going to scoot on to the next lie. You're going to admit, hey, I was wrong about that last thing I just said.
I don't think I was wrong though, and this is why a lot of people.
So she did have 60% of her speeches mentioned
I've heard.
transgender individuals.
Well, at least speeches I've heard.
Oh, okay. Can you point me in the direction of one fucking speech? Because the only time she mentioned transgender individuals was during a Fox News interview when they called her out, and they're like, "Well, what about this prisoners getting sex changes bullshit that you said?" That
Mm-hmm.
was literally a Donald Trump policy that they tried to pin on her, and that's the only time she mentioned transgender individuals.
So you're
Her
telling
entire
me that
so
she
like
didn't
I
say
think
that?
personally, yeah, I'm 100%
I
saying
have the quote.
she's not saying. So
Really?
I think personally, Democrats and leftists, specifically leftists, didn't show up to the polls because she didn't back transgender individuals enough. That's
Hmm.
my call.
Oh,
And
so you
I have
think
her
that?
quote.
So you think she lost because not enough Democrats supported her?
Sure, I
Yes.
guess. I think you got this.
Whoa.
First of all, this is blowing my mind. I want to refocus here. So you said this is backwards for me. So you said your number one priority is that Kalma was talking about sex changes and not the economy, when in fact she had an 82-page PDF on the
Mhm.
economy, and Trump had 0-page PDF on the economy, and Trump paid $270 million for the sex change and anti-trans ads. 270 million, and Kamala spent $0 on that. She was focused on the economy. Like, Trump still doesn't have an economic plan on his website. Never did, never will, never has. He keeps like throwing things up in the air, and the whole world's slapping him down, saying these are bad ideas. Tariffs, bad ideas. China's like,
Tariff,
hey,
it's
really
our
bad.
bad ideas, and that's not part of the economy, you're saying.
I'm sorry.
Tariff is probably the main point for the economy.
The main
Tariff,
point.
how can you say that? How can you say that tariffs are bad for
Blanket
economy?
tariffs. Blanket tariffs are terrible for an economy, yes.
Lincoln tariff?
Blanket. Like like flat rate tariffs. Blanket tariffs is doing like a
On the
30%.
country? You
Yeah,
talking
on a
about?
country, just saying that like all products being imported from that country have a tariff on them.
Right.
That's bad.
How is it bad?
Because it slows trade. So do you know, like, for this is totally related, but do you know like how we fought inflation by raising the interest rates? You know how we decreased inflation by raising the interest rates?
How do we decrease inflation by
That
raising?
that's what they did to fight inflation. They raised the interest rates. So essentially, what that did was it slowed down the trade of commodities, which is exactly what the tariffs are going to do. If things are a little bit more expensive, it's going to slow down that trade, and it's
At the
going to and it's you're
beginning,
okay.
at the
When is it going to
beginning,
speed up?
at the beginning is going to slow down, obviously. I
When
mean,
is it?
people are going to.
When do you think it'll speed up?
Okay, so, and I can probably, you know, put these as an example firsthand. So I have a business, right? So and I'm also working
Yeah,
stuff.
not interested. Not interested, man. When's it gonna speed up?
What?
I'm not interested in your anecdotal story. You're delaying the conversation. When is
I'm
it gonna
trying to
speed
give you an
up?
example.
Yeah, no. It's when is it gonna speed up? Your
What
anecdotal
is
story does
it's
not
going to speed
account for
up?
the.
It's going
Hold on.
it's well.
Okay,
Okay, so you're not
go
going to
ahead.
let me answer.
No, go ahead.
So it's going to speed up as soon as either the companies are going to move back or us as an Americans are going to build up our own companies and are going to start doing the stuff, the very same stuff the companies are not willing to come back to the US. How can you guys not see that? How
Okay.
can you guys not see that we're getting ripped off by Timu,
You've
Shein?
made a positive
Ripped
statement.
off
Now
by the
let
cheap
Pickles address it.
pricing of all of those
Yes,
goods.
of course we're
Oh
getting ripped
no.
off. Where do you think so there's a million things in Timu
Uh huh.
and Shein that we're not making.
Exactly. So think about what it would cost for us to make an item on Temu. Do you think we'll ever be able to sell those items cheaper than Temu?
No,
So when are they
that's
going to
not the
get cheaper,
point.
bozo? When are
That's
those prices
the
going to go
point
back
is not to
down?
get cheaper.
When
The
are the
point
prices going to
is
go back down, you bozo?
it's not gonna go down. I'm
That's what
not
I
saying
thought.
that
There you go.
it's
There you
prices are
go.
never gonna go down.
Exactly. They're only going to go up thanks to
But
Trump.
that's not the point. The point is to get jobs back to the US
We already
and
have 8 million
us
open jobs. Who's going to work those? He's going to deport 12 million more people. Why do we need more jobs?
you're saying there's 8 million jobs of
Yes, the last job.
open
Do
right
you do
now?
you read the jobs reports every month?
Well, No, not
Yeah, we
every
have 8
day.
million
No.
jobs open
You
right
probably
now.
should.
4% unemployment.
Plus, like, I'm looking specifically at like what we trade with Mexico, and even looking into China. These are like, there's no way that America could like have up and running any processing plants. Like for instance,
But that's what a fair trade.
well,
It's
hold on for a second.
Sure.
So, like, for
Go ahead.
instance, like U.S. imports from China like a lot of textile stuff,
Hmm.
furniture, bedding, lamps, toys, games, sports equipment, and
Hmm.
like other miscellaneous things. Like about 14%. Like, do you understand that? Like, we kind of moved away from that after a while in America because it wasn't profitable for us. So you want us to go backwards to make more expensive furniture, bedding, lamps, toys, games, all of that to hope that Americans will buy it?
I'd rather make microchips. That's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
We don't do clothes, we
But
don't
we're
do
not even
shoes, we
making
don't
that. But
do plastic straws. We do
the point of a
microchips.
fair trade is that if you're going to make, for example, a car, for example, and the fair trade will be all right. So you guys make, the seats or whatever, and I'll make the engine, and I'll make these, and we're making a fair trade of 50-50 partnership. Now China, little by little, they went and saying, all right, so we're going to do this. We're going to do 60% of these, then 70% of these. Now at this point, they're making pretty much 100%.
Who
Not
cares? Who gives a fuck? Let them. We're thriving.
We don't
They're
need to make
thriving. Like
shoestrings,
these,
bro.
this is just your
We're
feelings.
not
You're just like
thriving.
over there, and you're like looking over there, and you're jealous. But every economic
No, no, no.
indicator is
We're
begging
not
for us to keep
thriving.
doing this.
We're not thriving. So the salaries that we have here in America are really going down.
So you want more unskilled labor jobs?
I want more jobs. Every skill.
But how will
So
okay? So more jobs will make, more jobs will do what for you? Like you have a job, right?
yeah,
Okay, so what is that? How's that going to help you? How's that going to make prices cheaper for you?
in my company, that's what I was trying to explain before as a small example. But
Okay,
as a small company, small
what do you do?
business. So I do like DTF, printing and on clothing.
Okay, okay. So where do you buy your ink?
Wait, you're a drop shipment guy?
No,
No.
he
You
does his
drop
own.
ship
So where
stuff?
do you get your ink? And
No,
where do you get your
I
shirts?
bring my own stuff.
Where do
I
you get
have a
your
printer.
shirts, bud?
I get them from China right now.
Yeah. Okay. You
Are
think
you-
those
It's still
prices are about to go up, bro?
And I can't compete. No, and I still can't compete though, and that's my whole point.
Wow,
I'm
man.
buying no, but
Prices are
listen to
about
this.
to like go
I'm
through
buying
the
raw
roof.
material from China, and I'm still not
Bro.
able to compete. And I'm
Dude,
still not able to compete.
So now
I'm
you
gonna be
see
asking-
why we can't compete with China, and tariffs are a bad idea, right? Because
No,
he's going to
it's
tariff your
because
shirts.
of the salary. It's
he's
not the raw
listen,
material.
he's going to
It's the
tariff.
salaries
He's
that
going
are
to tariff.
killing it.
He's going to tariff your shirts. Your
Yeah.
shirts are going to be more expensive. You're going to have to pass that on to your customer. Your business
No.
is going to struggle just a little bit more. But thank God, someone somewhere else is going to get a job or something. I don't
Now
know.
you're thinking it completely in the opposite way. So raw material is not the
You are
problem.
so fucked.
Okay,
You don't even
so-
know it yet. You
all
don't
right.
even know it yet. Hey man, do you know what China did a few days after Donald Trump came out and said he was going to tariff them at 100%? Do you know what
Yeah.
they did in retaliation? All right. What'd they do?
No. I'm listening.
Oh, they shut down all rare earth minerals shipping to the United States. All of them. So that's going to prevent us from technology, making missiles, defense equipment,
We'll get it from
ships that
somewhere
are
else.
needed. Yeah, they
Just
we
like we
don't
have before.
So
But let me
China, there's
finish my point in
resources.
the
Hold
back,
on,
'cause
there's
you're saying it's-
resources in China. Hold on, bro. There's resources in China that are nowhere else in the world. So we can't get them anywhere else. These are natural resources that they dig out of the ground. So for you
Like
to be
what?
like,
I know,
gallium?
natural
you're
resources.
literally
Like
going to be
what?
paying double.
Gallium.
Because I can
You're
tell you,
literally
South
gonna-
America has like all the.
I don't know why you
metals
keep
and-
interrupting me. It's really weird.
Well, I'm trying to
So
respond.
yeah, I'm just saying things, and you're not letting me finish. You keep interrupting.
Go
So
ahead, I'm
rare
sorry.
earth
Go ahead, go
minerals,
ahead.
completely gone. We don't have the accessibility anywhere else in the world to get them except for from China. And you are going to be paying 100% more for those shirts. Now I'm done.
Well, hold on. There's one country we can go to because there's four that they've been found in.
Okay,
We
so
just found, hold on. We just found them in America, but we don't have any way to process them, dig them up, or anything like that. So that's going to be around at least 20 years. Russia has them. I think that would be a great conversation. I'm sure they'll let us have access to those. And then the last country would be a small amount from Australia. That's it. Those are the four
Okay,
countries in the world that have
can
access
I
to raw
finish
earth
my
oil.
point on the previous,
Go ahead.
the one we were talking about the? Okay, so you're saying that my price is gonna go up because the raw materials are gonna go up, but that's
Mm-hmm.
not the problem though. That's not the majority of the cost. I can't compete with Timu or Sheen not because of the raw material. They actually paying the same thing that I'm paying for. They might be a little bit cheaper, but the difference
They're
is not
way
that
cheaper,
much.
bud.
It's not that much difference, I can tell you.
Okay.
The difference is on the salaries, on the wages.
Yeah.
You can't compete on that
Yeah,
because I'm not
exactly.
gonna work for
Exactly.
$2.
That's why a million of these companies will never come back. None of them will. 98%
Then
will
we'll
not come
do it.
back.
Then we'll make it.
Okay,
Then
and
we'll
you
make
just
it.
told me
No,
how
but
they can't compete with labor. So how are they going to do it?
Well, with tariff, if Trump, let's say, impose, and by the way, this has to work with over 70, 80% on the tariff. It can't be 30%. It has to be way higher than that. But at least he's going to start with 30%.
Oh
Now,
my God.
at 30%, now we're talking about wages in China is going to be going up.
So things are going to be so much more expensive that our labor market's going to be able to compete with China, and we're going to be paying more for those items.
And we're going to make it here at home. Yeah.
Okay, and then what? And then when are they going to get cheaper?
They're not going to get
I
cheaper.
thought you said at the
Oh my
beginning of this whole
God.
conversation that they'll eventually get cheaper.
No, I didn't say that they were going to get cheaper.
So
Not
what's
cheaper
what's
than
the long like
Timu.
what's the
The
goal here?
point is
Because
to
we already
get
have a
the
bunch of open jobs. So you just say like for the sake of a bunch of people getting jobs, we're going to pay 30% more
most
for
jobs that
everything
people
from
don't
China.
want.
Businesses are going to close down. Just like you're going to pay more for your shirts and raw material, but thank
Yeah.
God we're going to have a few extra jobs in the market. I don't get who's going to benefit from this. Like some people that already like there's 8 million open jobs already. Like we only have like
Us.
4% unemployment. We can
We're
only
going to
go
be.
down like 0.5% before it's like that's it. If we go any lower than 3% employment, it's bad for the economy.
I'm talking about quality jobs. Quality
Okay, I
jobs.
don't care.
I'm,
Okay,
I'm
so
working
some
at
other
nine to
person's going to
five
get a
and I have my
raise.
own
Some
company.
some
I would
person out
like to
there
be in my own
some
company,
person out there
but
is
I
going to
can't
get a
compete right
raise.
now. I'm sorry. What was that?
So you're saying quality jobs, but you're talking about textile and raw like shit that you do.
Well, I'm just pointing out one little thing, right? But there's like a million jobs that are
Exactly.
worth doing,
Think about all of
and
the things that we can
that we're
compete with
not
China with.
doing.
And it's probably limited to batteries, EVs, and microchips. That's about it. And Trump's going to tariff
do you
everything like an idiot.
Let me tell you this. I was in Paris not too long ago, and I was shocked how every little thing was made in France. Like not one thing was made in China.
So
No, that's
what?
false.
Actually,
That's
This
absolutely
sticker look
incorrect.
different to you?
they I just came from
that's
there.
not
France.
yeah,
I've been to
okay.
France multiple times.
I
They
just came
import.
from there,
Okay,
and
that's great. I'm so
in most
happy. I'm sure
stores.
you had a wonderful time. You're still wrong on how their economy works. They import.
You know what I
It was
find funny
made
is
in France. It said
the guy
made in France.
Oh my
cool
God.
the guy up here saying talking about low quality jobs literally prints shirts for a living. Do you know what they call that?
I'm actually an engineer too. I don't want to be an engineer. I want to actually do what
Yeah, but
small business.
that's not a quality job, man. That's
A
like a low
computer
quality
engineer
job.
is not a
No,
quality job.
printing
It is.
shirts.
It is to me though, and and and
That's a
and there
very
are a
low
lot of
skill
people
labor
that would
job,
much
bro.
rather.
That is a
I'd
super
rather
low
I'd
skill
rather make
labor job.
microchips here. I'd rather do that.
And me too. Hey, me too. And eventually, I mean, it has nothing to do with China at that point. Microchips is way more complicated. I
Yep.
mean, that's why they want to get Taiwan because Taiwan is the only one that right now is making it.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
But we're Biden did something. I show this every day, but this is a little something Biden did for us. WhiteHouse.gov/invest. These are all like microchip manufacturing plants, EV clean energy manufacturing. These are all things Biden brought back here without putting tariffs up. It's pretty dope.
yeah,
It's
it
pretty
actually
dope.
is.
Pickles,
Um,
did you know I had a PhD in rocket surgery? Just
Mm,
letting you know.
uh, what?
I like it.
Anyway,
I can be an engineer too, is my point.
okay, good, I guess.
So, can I ask the dumb question? So, all prices are going to go up, but wages in America aren't. So, how are people going to be able to afford all of the products that we're making?
wages are going to go up.
How are they going
Yeah,
to
they,
go up?
Are going to go up. So
yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, like why or how would they go up? Like why would companies like make our wages go up? I don't understand.
Well, supply and demand, right? So the more jobs, the more people are going to ask for more money, right?
But we don't have people to fill those jobs. Like Pickle said, we have 8
That's what
million
companies
vacant
are
jobs right
gonna.
now, and
That's
we're
what.
about to hold on. We
Everyone's
have
already
8
got a
million
job.
vacant jobs. Yeah, there's 8 million vacant jobs right now, and we're about to deport 12 million people. So we're gonna have even more. So we don't have enough people to fill those jobs.
But don't worry, somebody's going to start making plastic straws here in Texas. Someone's going to start making little fucking gadgets like this. It's going to be a higher
Yeah.
paying job in your head somehow. It's going to do
Yeah,
that.
that is actually what people want,
factory-
and that's why they voted
Textile
Trump. in.
factory job.
Well, it doesn't matter. It could be there's a million things in Temu that you can pick from and,
Yeah.
and just
I don't know
make,
why
wanna make those
anybody
things
make
here?
way more money than an actual engineer. I mean, and it's true.
You think
It
you'll
is,
make clothes for more money than being an engineer?
for sure.
You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
saw Temu
Like
Temu had
manual labor?
Well, not working for a company, but making your own company and start from scratch and just and do your
Yeah,
own
how many
company.
of those
and
are
actually-
successful? How many companies are successful that you start from the bottom, $0? How many of those are actually successful?
Well, I mean, I don't know the percentage though, but
It's very few.
it's
Very
very
little.
few. But you are getting into a playing field, and that's my point. You're getting into a playing field where you can compete.
Like this is all
And-
theory. This is all theory. This is something
It's
you're
not
hoping
theory.
happens. This is something you're hoping the market does. And I'm telling you that the market will never do. Like no one wants to go out one day and be like, I'm going to compete with Temu on American Soil. Not a
But-
fucking soul will ever. Even if
but-
it was
but here's the
100%
thing.
tariffs, even with
But here's the
1,000% tariffs, you can't compete with Temu. Your fucking
But
eye
here's
can
the
think you
thing.
can.
Toyota just went to Mexico. They actually raised the price. The cars are coming back, with more defects than when it was coming from Japan. And
True.
What?
well,
Not true. Why do you
look at-
just make things up?
look at
You
look at
just lie in front of 900 people, dude. Like openly, just say
What?
weird shit. That's not true.
what's not true. That they went
That the cars that are made in Mexico are so I understand that cars are built or they build parts in Mexico and then ship them over here and we put them together. But you're saying that those cars now have more defects? That's not true.
Yes, Toyota just went down 17% on their market. They're not selling. They stopped selling 17%.
I got
Okay,
a friend
you
with a 1989 Toyota S10. Like
So,
it still
interestingly
runs
enough,
like great.
So in Mexico specifically, I just found this. This happened in May of this year that Toyota repeatedly halted Mexico plant after suppliers hit by worker shortage. Imagine that.
Okay.
Dang.
Well, the point is they're not selling.
Well, no one's
Could
working
it
there.
be
Like,
there's
what
not
are we
enough
gonna, like?
people?
We need to stop importing jobs. We need more people.
Yeah.
We need more people.
Yeah.
Where do we get more people though from? Pickles?
I don't know, but I think Trump's about to deport a bunch of them.
We
Yeah,
could either
but-
have babies today and wait 18 years, or we could have immigrants.
Well, I guess.
How many open jobs do you think we'll have after we deport
I
12
just don't
million
understand
immigrants?
how you guys can't say that tariffs are not going to help the country. Because
There's
there's
no
already
economist
8
that
million.
thinks this. Can you name an economist that thinks this?
And they wrong.
No, they're just all wrong.
Trump's
They're
right.
just all of them.
And all the economists are wrong. Trump.
It's already proven
Where?
in certain
Target
markets.
tariffs are not blanket tariffs. Target tariffs are different.
And by the
you're
way,
targeting a specific product like steel, that's very different than targeting every import from a country.
I mean, I can't quote these. What was the percentage? I think it was like 32% that the first time Trump imposed, and Biden kept those tariffs. Why didn't he remove it? Whatever it was.
Because they were targeted tariffs, bro. That's just what Artemis said.
Okay, but
Literally
I'm just saying
said
that-
And they still didn't. By the way, they did lower our GDP. We did lose jobs. We did
142,000.
gain money. Yeah, we gained money, sure, but people lost jobs, and it lowered our GDP.
And we saw an increase in the prices of automobiles and houses because of those tariffs. Like the whole housing. Do you remember a few years ago when plywood was like $9 for a sheet of plywood, or
Yeah.
$90? I mean, yeah, that was literally because of those tariffs, soft woods.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was because of the COVID.
No.
That had some stuff to do with it
Yeah.
too, but it initially
Okay.
The
started from the
ports are
tariffs.
affected, but we do have to. We regularly housing costs have gone up because of the lumber and because of the labor. But we're going to see housing prices, I think, go up another 7% because just from these tariffs. And from no, that was from deporting people. So if we start deporting people, we'll see housing costs go up another 7%.
Pickle, show them the pyramid.
Oh,
Pyramid?
yeah. Did you know that we're in population decline?
The U.S.
Yeah.
Probably.
So in year 2080, we're going to hit 370 million people. And by 2100, we're going to hit 366. It's going to go down 4 million people. That's because of the kids we're not having today.
Right.
So our population, it looks like this. We got old people at the top, young people at the bottom, and it's supposed to look like this. So you have like a workforce, a labor force. You have people paying Social Security and things like that to where they stay solvent. And what's happening is Social Security and things like this are becoming insolvent. We don't have labor. And what these migrants are doing is they're coming on in and they're filling out our population and making it look whole again. They're actually helping us. They paid $97 billion into Social Security last year.
Immigration's extremely important for population increase.
I do believe that. Yeah, no, for sure.
There's countries right now that are running ads begging people to migrate.
Norway is offering some pretty good incentives if you have a work from home job to move there from America. Awesome incentives, actually. We weren't so goddamn cold. Yeah, Italy too, but they've gone fascist, so no thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Spain is. Spain's offering
Plus,
houses for like $1.
Yeah.
That Italy one's up though. It's done.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about the Spain.
Anyway, do you have anything else you want to say, Grumbly?
No, I'm good. Thank you, guys.
All right, have a good night. Chat, tap
All
the
right, I got
screen.
more news.
If you enjoy these debates, give me a follow. Biden just forgave $4.2 billion in student debt. Great job, Joe. Fuck yes. Fuck yes.
House bill, we talked about that. We talked about Canada. Tesla recalls 700,000 cars due to tire pressure monitoring system issues. That could be dangerous. And then, yeah, Biden forgives. Biden's like he's trying to tip his hat as he walks out the door, I think. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yellow.
Party City's out of business.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did not mean to hit the button. I didn't mean to interrupt y'all. So I love y'all. I'm so sorry.
you're all right.
So sorry. I was tapping.
You're good.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
You're all right.
Thank you,
Derek.
man. Thanks
I
for tapping.
appreciate you.
You too.
What's up,
Johnny
Cootery?
V.
What's up, guys? Chat, if you want to debate, hop in the box. If you want to tell me why you like Trump. Yellow.
Yo.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I'm on the right. I think I would support him more than a Harris or a second Biden term. So yeah, you could qualify me as such, I guess, for the purpose of the conversation.
What do you like about Trump?
That's my favorite thing too, when he doesn't talk.
When can you hear me? Is that okay?
There you go.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I had my low battery message popped up. I like his protectionist policies. I like the way that he is approaching the rest of the world and trying to reorient the pivotal parts of what makes our country strong, sort of back onto our home soil. Not that we should eliminate free trade, or not that we should eliminate our connections with other countries, or abandon our allies, but I do think that there is value in pivoting back to the homeland for a period of time and trying to make things here, even if it requires a little bit of pain in the short term. I think
Why
he
do
doesn't
you
have to
think
get away.
so?
Why do I think so?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think with the way the world is continuing to trend geopolitically, it's important for us to make our own things again, and for us to step off the ledge a little bit in terms of our economy right now is what, like 85% services, or I think it's only 15%.
You're just saying that we need to, but like why?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It's we have a 15% manufacturing economy right now, meaning that we don't really create the things that we need in order. I mean, you were just talking about all the different things that China makes for us and the things that we depend on them for. And say if something were to go wrong in Taiwan with the amount of chips that come through there, our supply chains could even be hampered even further. And similar to how we try to enact pressure on other countries, we're close to being as vulnerable. We're blessed and lucky to have a lot of the natural resources we need to stay alive, such as food and wheat and farmland and animals and water and everything else. But when it comes to what it means to fight in the modern world and to stay strong and useful in the modern world, we've come to outsource so many of those things that eventually that's going to catch up to us. So I know I'm kind of being long-winded, but I think we have to get back to making things at home, whether that be vehicles, whether that be, China's kicking everyone's butt right now in manufacturing. We are so far behind.
I don't think we want to be like we were just explaining this to him. So like China is very special in a way, and they have the means and the infrastructure to do all of these things. And not to mention, it's very hard to compete with their labor practices. So, just bringing those jobs over here for the sake of doing it, just in case, to make us strong, maybe in the future, I think will just crush our economy. Like right now, I think it will immediately pull us to a slowing roll, and we'll be even more susceptible to bad news sooner than later. I think. I don't think this is going to help us. The economy thrives on trade. So if we need coffee beans from another part of the world, or things that just don't grow here beneath our feet, or things that can't be found here or don't grow here in this climate, it's good. It's healthy. That's where we get value, and that's how we offer value to the rest of the world. So if we can do things to make things cheaper, being able to buy a $30,000 car is 1,000% the product of trade. It is. You cannot do all of that here. It'll never be efficient. We are going to hurt ourselves being ultra nationalists. This is kind of like cutting off our nose to spite our face. This is exactly that. We are hurting ourselves, raising our own prices, just so that we can say we can slap an American flag on a manufacturing industry.
I would disagree in a sense that here's kind of the working theory is that if you want to see what it looks like when a nation just goes full on free trade and depends heavily on its allies, you can look at what's going on in Europe right now. With not only have they lost a lot of their work and their economy has stagnated all across the continent, even despite the amount of oil that's being pumped on the northern side. You look at Southern Europe, you look at the United Kingdom. Their economy stagnated heavily after they began to outsource all of their manufacturing to us in China. And they are dependent heavily on Russia. I was in the Czech Republic a few months ago and spoke to.
They're dependent on us.
Yes, but they're also heavily dependent. They were dependent on Russia, and they are dependent on us.
Do you know why do we depend on them?
I'm sorry?
Do you know why we depend on them for manufacturing?
China or Europe?
Yeah, China.
Because it's extremely cheap labor, and we can get everything cheaper.
Because they have 4 times our population. No matter how hard we try in manufacturing, we will never be able to catch up to China. Now, we do produce things. Granted, I forget what you said. It was 16% or 20% or something like that over manufacturing. But you're not taking into account all the natural resources that we produce with natural gases, with oil, with crops. There's a lot of stuff that we come to the table with. China, they've got people. They've got 1.8 billion people. That's what they have to offer. That's what they bring into the global economy. That's what they bring to the table. Manufacturing. That's why we utilize them. So, like you're saying, we don't do much, but it's because we don't have as many people.
Also,
Yeah,
wait, the UK also went through Brexit, a part of an isolationist stance, and it completely wrecked their economy. Like, I
I think
don't know
that's
if
all
the
of
U
Europe. That's all of Europe is going through something similar. It's not
it's
just
different.
Brexit.
It's different. Brexit was much different than what you're referencing.
Well, I'm saying it's all the same. It's part of the reason they left the EU is because their economy wasn't getting better, and it didn't. And
And it
Brexit
made it
didn't help.
worse.
I would agree that Brexit didn't help in terms of they needed to keep some
It
lines of
did
trade open.
such damage that the entire party flipped in the UK. That's how much damage Brexit did to its people.
Okay.
That they went from a more conservative stance in their parliament to a more liberal stance.
Right, but over let's try to stay on one topic. Let's talk about we can talk about Europe in general. But when I talk about Europe's economy taking a step backwards, it's not just because of Brexit, or it's not just because if all of you if staying in the EU was a sign that their economy would be better, which I think it would be better had they stayed in the EU for sure. But I'm not arguing that. So I'm saying in general, Europe has gotten itself into a pickle where they depend on us for their protection, and they depend on China for manufacturing. They depend on a lot of different people for a lot of different things. They no longer are self-sufficient and self-sustaining, and that's become a serious threat to them. I mean, this is what their leading politicians are saying on the left and the right, is that they are essentially have their backs up against the wall and they need to be able to fend for themselves. But in regards to China and the size, I think that's a little bit of a narrow way to see it, to say that, well, because it's cheap, we'll never be able to catch up. But China had more people than us in the 1970s and 80s when, we had something like 60 to 70% of a manufacturing economy. We were still had a lot of manufacturing jobs. They had more people, but I think the American way has always been to
Why do you guys
innovate.
again? I still don't get it. Like, I'm sorry to interrupt. This is
No,
still
go ahead.
this still doesn't fix anything. This doesn't fix any. No one's asking for this. No
Well,
one's asking to be
maybe I'm being really
isolationist.
slow. Maybe I'm being really slow. I'll speed up and get to my point. I will speed up and get to my point. The point that I'm trying to make is that by pulling back a little bit and building things at home, it will hurt our economy in the short term. And you say, well, we shouldn't cut off our nose to spite our face, which to a degree I kind of disagree with, because it's a matter of how soon do we want to have the required surgery? Because eventually we are so dependent on. You're saying, well, we're so dependent on them, we're never going to be able to catch up. We might as well just live with.
Why
the
do we need to
consequences
catch up?
and
Like,
keep
I don't
things
get
going.
it. Why do we need to catch up? I don't care.
Why? Okay, so what do you think happens whenever all of the, for instance, and I don't know what I can say on here. I don't want to get your live band or something, but what do you think happens whenever we get into a conflict with an overseas power? And for instance, right now, the majority, what is the biggest war in the world right now? It's between Russia and Ukraine, and there are more, I don't know what the word to use is, unaliving that happens. You can look this up, this is true, by drones than by artillery. So if we got put in a position where, let's say China advances on Taiwan, and we get in a position where we no longer have the technology that we need in order to fight a fair war, then suddenly we fall behind and we lose all of our geopolitical power.
I know, but I just went over this. We already did, like, Biden passed the Chips and Science Act so that we can inch towards being independent from chips. But like, I don't think everything else is that like a measure of national defense or security. This is like fair trade. China is invested in America's success. If we go down, their biggest trading partner goes down. They fail. Like, it's a good thing to have all of these relationships so that if we all rely on each other, we won't be at each other's throats. We
but
build
I
mutually
would
beneficial
agree that
relationships.
open trade is good, but at the moment we need to pull back a little bit. I'm not saying we have to pull back completely, but we do need to pull back a little
Why?
bit. And I don't
Says
think,
who? Why?
because so that we can reestablish some form of independence, because we are we are a single nation. I mean, I don't believe in just collectivizing all of the. We're a single nation. We have to fight for our
So
own
you
interests.
you
I don't
just
know
like
why it's really
you're doing this
concept.
isolationist thing, and it's a feeling. It's a ideology. There's no math to it. There's no actual benefit. There's just
So what
this
is the
thing
actual math
where you're
and benefit
you're
of
going into
depending on
your shell.
China?
I'm
What is
sorry.
what is the math and what is the math and benefit of being dependent on China?
So I like having $1,000 iPhone. Do you want a
Okay, so
$5,000
you
iPhone so
want
that you
cheaper
feel safer?
consumer items, and that's why we should sell out our national security so that you
Yes,
can buy
and it's
cheaper
not selling
iPhones.
out our national security. Like, we are advancing as a society faster because
Okay,
of
well,
this.
now where's the
We
math
are
in
living
that? Okay,
great
you can't just say
lives
that. You have
because of
to
this.
explain that. You're asking me to explain. I'm going to ask you to explain. Can
Okay.
you explain how being too dependent on China isn't actually selling out our national security whenever they have mentioned us as their primary adversary.
They're dependent
and
on us
talked
too.
about- What'd you say?
They're dependent on us too.
We're in a much larger deficit towards them.
It doesn't it doesn't matter. It's because our
Well,
dollars
you're asking for
worth
math,
more.
and that's pretty direct math.
No, it doesn't matter. They would equally be hurt. They would be just as equally hurt because
They would
our
not be
dollar's
equally
worth
hurt,
more.
no.
So the trade deficit, of course, is
Okay, so where's the math
lopsided.
for that they would be equally hurt? Because suddenly you said you asked for math. I gave you math. And now
Okay,
you're saying it doesn't
so think
matter.
about this. We shut off trade, and the millions and millions and millions of jobs that are now in China that have no people to buy their product, they lose their jobs. We have an economic crisis. If you just decrease somebody's economy by like 2% or their GDP, that is akin to the Great Depression. That's exactly what it would do. The Great
I mean,
Depression.
China already is having economic issues with the young people and their unemployment. So it's not like, you
So
know.
if I can, just if you give me just 30 seconds here, I did look up to see why Europe's economy has stagnated, and you're lying, guest. You left out the part why one of the main issues is that it's low levels of innovation and entrepreneurship because of the United States. We're the ones doing it, not China. It also goes in to talk about how regulatory practices is an issue, limiters to venture capitalism, a fragmented single market, high labor costs, and then a lack of creating new fast-growing companies. None of it has to do with China.
So what
None
did,
of
what
it.
did I lie about?
You said that they were stagnated because of their dependency on China.
No,
That is not
I
at
said
all
I
what's
said they
going on.
stagnated, therefore they were dependent on China. It was
That's
a
not why they're
result of their stagnation.
but they're not. They're more dependent on us.
You're giving you're trying to go for the because. I was telling you what happens
Yeah,
when.
but they're more dependent on us.
Okay, well the point is they're dependent. That's my point. You just proved my point.
On us because we're allies.
Okay, but it doesn't. Well, we're not
see
in a
how that
position.
works?
Okay, so
You see how that works?
which
You're not an
allies'
isolationist.
arms are we going to fall into? Because they had us. Who do we have?
We have each other.
We have each other, which is Europe that can't. So Europe depends on us, and then we're going to depend on Europe, who can't create
It's a
anything 'cause
give
they
and
depend
take.
on
It's a
us?
back and forth.
I'm sorry,
It's a give and take and back and forth. For instance, if like
but they don't
because-
create anything.
But they do. They do have manufacturing jobs in Europe.
We don't import a significant amount. I mean, we do import a really large amount. Like, if you looked at the number, it'd be huge. But relatively, if our economy collapsed, then Europe would be SOL.
Well, I mean, if our economy collapsed, it would hurt the United States dollar, which is like paramount on a bunch of different things. That's a whole different conversation.
They-
But
Yeah,
go ahead.
they're trying to devalue the dollar. Like I think Musk and Trump, they want to devalue the dollar. So like they have every interest in the world to see the economy crash. The richest of the rich, they get very rich when there's a boom bust cycle, just like COVID. If they can do that again, they get more money. Like I think this is why they're doing it, and convinced all of you somehow that this is a good idea.
I mean,
so
you still
weird.
haven't given me the mic. You keep saying that, but you're not supporting your argument either. You haven't
Okay.
told me why why we should be more dependent, why the math doesn't really matter. You've said, well,
It doesn't
China would
matter.
be
So
aggressive
if
or
we're
something.
trading in a way that they're benefiting and we're benefiting, and I get things like I as a human being get more computing power than NASA had in the 80s right now because of this development in our economy, because of our relationship with China. Okay, if
I
you
would say
want to
that's
slow down, that's
American
fine.
innovation. I wouldn't say that we need China to innovate.
I'm not saying they innovated. I'm saying I get this for $1,000.
Okay, so you're
it's
saying
probably worth 10.
if I said you could buy that for a 2,000 and you could support American labor, would you do it?
I would buy them half as much.
So see, that's the difference. You and I would pay more if it meant supporting America.
No,
because
I'm sorry.
I'm a nationalist, which I'm not,
sure.
saying you need to be. But
I would too, but I would buy it half as much because it's twice as costly. That would slow down the trade, and then China loses out. I lose out because I'm at a loss. And now this random guy who could have just worked some other job, he gets somewhat of a pay raise. I don't know, but you're stoked about this idea.
I'm stoked about finding ways to build the things that we need to survive in the 22nd century. As my grandchildren are around and great grandchildren, and what they're going to need in order for the United States to still be independent, like we have been, like we were in the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. We've given up our independence in a lot of ways, and we are.
Like that.
Yeah, you haven't explained that.
Well,
This is so weird.
I've explained it a million times.
Nothing.
So okay, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. Whenever the last major war happened, who was the primary exporter of the resources required in order to win that war in the 1940s?
Yeah,
Who was
those
the primary
those
exporter?
those resources are no longer needed, man. You know we need
Okay, so no,
rare earth
I
mineral.
know that.
Hey,
So
you've been
then
talking
for a
for a
new
long
age
time. Do you mind
war,
it?
who would
Hey,
be the primary exporter
somebody
then?
else talking for a second though?
Well, answer my
Cool.
question. If in a new age war, who would be the primary exporter? You guys
Right
are talking
now,
about cheap
China.
labor and how much they
Us
can
and
create.
China.
China. Okay, so we want to sell ourselves out to them. We want to just put ourselves in a vulnerable position
Listen,
against China.
No,
No,
this
who
this
said
is
that?
you're
Who said
you're
that?
you're carrying water for China right now. You are this. The wars are not fought on soil or with bombs anymore. They're fought in the media. You are carrying their water right now. They have convinced you that this is a good idea. They are trying to do this to America. They want us to fail. They want our economy to go to shit. And they've convinced you with fifis, with nationalism, to think this is a good idea. No economist says it is. No one out there says that. In fact, everybody's raising the alarms. But you've got this weird idea in your head. And this is, they've convinced.
Okay, well, I'm
going
going to need to see the math.
We're
You
seeing
keep
these
asking
days.
about the math, and I'm still waiting on the math as
Okay,
to
what
how
math
exactly
are
we
you
would
looking
defend
for?
ourselves if we got into a major conflict and
Okay,
China cut us off.
If we do this thing right now that you want to do, how are we going to defend ourselves if everybody's fucking poor and our GDP is ass?
Oh, I mean, I think we end up probably being able to manufacture the things that we need, and that helps our GDP. I
How
do think
soon?
that our economy
How
would take
soon?
a step back, 100%.
So if
Our
right now,
our
if we-
economy would 100% take a step back.
So
But
right
that's
now,
the trap we
right
put
now,
ourselves in.
Right now, if we wanted to make all the stuff, like if we were like, all right, let's do it, let's go to war with China, how long would it take for us to start manufacturing some of that stuff right here, right now? It would be like 10 years. And it would be shittier than China's stuff.
It would not take 10 years. If we actually put our best minds behind it, it would take around.
Who's
Do you know
gonna
how
do
long
the
it takes to
lot
build
of it's
factories?
We would be
intelligence
we'd be gone.
intelligence.
We're dead.
Who's going to do the jobs? Are people magically going to appear because we're anti-immigration under Trump? So are people going to magically appear in this country to do these jobs?
People would 100% would do the jobs if they paid well enough.
You don't understand.
How?
There aren't
they gonna
people
multiply?
to do them.
They're gonna
Are they going to
clone each
multiply?
other?
What are you talking about?
There's
Oh,
no
you're
people to
saying
work.
there's not enough people. You're saying there's not enough people.
Yeah.
No.
yeah.
There's
we're not gonna
100%
skip
enough
past-
people.
we're not
The
gonna
people
skip
would
past
do
the
that's
fact you
that's
said
such
you
a
were a
lie. There's
nationalist.
100%
Okay,
enough people. You
how
talk
many-
about the
how many-
population collapse.
How many?
Like we can predict the trend
Slow
of
down,
the
dude.
general.
Slow down.
It's just math. That's
Hold on,
just
sorry,
math.
my wife's talking to me. I'm trying to do two things at once. Baby.
That's just math. The population decline is literally just math. This is not something that might happen. It's just literally what's going to happen.
We're not going to skip
okay,
over the fact he said he was a nationalist either.
Yeah, I'm a nationalist.
Yeah, that's fucking embarrassing.
I mean, not really. I would say it's more embarrassing to want to sell your country out to China so you can buy a cheap iPhone.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I would say
don't
that's
think
more
you know
embarrassing.
how things work. By the way, I did decide to look up. We make more money importing with the European Union than we do with fucking China. Over 200 billion more. You don't know what you're talking about.
Lady, I don't think you know how to connect dots. I've
name's-
not
her
said
name's
we
Artemis.
don't trade with Europe.
Literally.
My point is that Europe is dependent on us. I spoke about it from Europe's perspective.
And we're dependent on Europe. We both make money. We both make money. You are
But in
so
terms of
fucking
what we
obsessed with
need, we
China.
couldn't just
See,
we
now
couldn't do
comes the
everything that we
overtalking
do
and the
from.
interrupting because now you're pressed.
Go ahead. Finish your point.
You don't understand what you're talking about. It's a so super focal point on China. You've made claims about China all over the place. None of them substantiated. I've been sitting here fact checking you the entire time. I'm not finding any of this information. Like I'm
Okay.
looking up import prices, export prices. I'm looking at all this. I'm not seeing anything about China having this chokehold on us.
Okay. So what's one thing that you want me to verify? Give me one piece of information and we can break it down
chokehold
really
that
slow.
China has on the European Union.
The chokehold that China. Okay, look up electric vehicle sales in China and the electric vehicle imports and the amount of
No.
things
Is that the
being
only-
sold in China.
That's it.
I mean, that's probably when you talk about manufacturing jobs, that's the first thing
So
people
when I
talk
say
about. I mean, you can look
chokehold-
up manufacturing
So
and
like-
all the different factories that
like
are being built in.
10,000,
Look up.
30,000
Okay, how about
jobs?
this? I mean, I gave you one. Here's another one. Look up factories being built by Chinese companies in Europe. You'll see plenty. You will see absolutely
That gives
plenty.
Europeans jobs. So why don't
Yes,
we
but
try
those
that
are
again?
those are going to be run by Chinese organizations and companies with Chinese
But wait,
intelligence
those are
and
Europe-
Chinese infiltrated by China. Those are
This
Chinese companies.
intelligence that you keep referencing. Maybe you should not be on TikTok if you're that worried.
I bet you
Do you
could say
really think that
Chinese at
China
least
doesn't know
25 more
or
times.
isn't capable of doing things that we are, or that
Well,
they
I just
don't
think
have
that
some kind
paranoia
of.
doesn't get anybody anywhere. Like you're mentioning all this stuff,
But I
like
don't think
like why should
naivety
I?
does
No,
either.
no, seriously, why should I give a shit? Like if China looks at my text messages, I genuinely want to know. Like
Okay, yeah,
because
you're a
the American
sellout
government.
then.
Wait,
You're a
no, because
sellout
no, wait, hold on. Because the American government does it. Why should I
for
give a
sure,
shit?
for sure.
Like my government does it. Why should I care? I don't understand.
Because at the end of the
And how
day,
she's a
if China
sellout.
had to pick between you and me, and I agree with you to a degree that our government does the same thing, but these are the games that are being played. And so by taking the high
There's
road and saying,
no
well,
games
why
being
should I
played. Hey
care?
man, this isn't a game. They're literally selling off your information. Every time you log on, they sell off your information of where you logged on, and they sell it probably to Chinese companies. Whoever's willing to pay the most. So for you to call her a traitor or a sellout is fucking embarrassing once again, because you don't understand how this shit works. This is capitalism you're mad at. This is capitalism. This isn't China. This is
I mean,
capitalism.
I wouldn't say I'm
But
a
you don't
capitalist
understand
either.
that.
There's
No,
a
it's
lot of
100
U.S.
Bro,
based companies
they sell
here
your
that make tons of money because China exists, because they trade with China. Literally every entrepreneur on Amazon right now is probably making their money from China, buying shit from Alibaba, reselling it here in mass.
Okay, yeah, you're talking about capitalism, and you keep talking about the stock market capitalism, GDP growth, as if we've had GDP growth for a while. The economy, actually, relatively speaking, is doing really well right now in terms
Yeah.
of the stock market and everything else. But when it comes to cost of living and things like that, it's not gotten easier for people.
So you
People
want
wouldn't
it to
say,
go
"Oh,
up?
yeah, it's
Yeah, no shit.
So
'cause
you're
it's
trying to
Yeah,
make it go
this-
up
bud.
with your experiment with
no." So
tariffs?
the point that I'm making is that using that as a barometer, if we used that barometer alone, and you weren't living day to day, and you just looked at that and said, "Okay, this is the indicator of a healthy economy," you would say that the economy right now is in an absolutely incredible place, and that the cost of living should be low, but it's not. So you can say, "Oh, the GDP would go down," but if the GDP going up isn't an indicator that the cost of living goes down, then why would it going down indicate that the cost of
I'm
living
not trying to
would
tell
also?
you. I'm not trying to tell you how great the
Shut the
economy is
fuck
now.
up.
I'm trying to tell you that things that Trump is going to do is going to slow it down, make things more expensive. The opposite of what you guys voted for.
Yeah, but I don't. That's the thing. I don't mind things getting more expensive if it's for our national security.
So wait, you just
What's the
said you
difference?
were upset with the cost of living now.
No,
Why are you
but
okay?
that's your
No,
argument.
no,
I'm
no,
saying
no.
his
Literally,
argument
90
is that it's
seconds
going to be more
ago. No,
expensive.
shush, dude. Stop talking so fucking quickly. Slow down. 90 seconds ago, you said you were upset with the cost of living. You agreed, or you
No, I
tried to
didn't.
get us
No,
to.
I didn't. Fake news. Didn't say that.
Am I being gaslit right now?
I did not say that. I don't know if you guys just don't listen or what, but I didn't say that.
Okay, go on.
So you weren't talking about the cost of living 90 seconds ago?
I said that he was talking about how much more expensive life is going to get, and I said, yeah, it will get more expensive, and I'm fine with that.
That's not. That wasn't
Because you'll
yours.
feel
You're just
safer.
not listening and connecting
Because
the
you'll feel,
dots. I can't.
like
I
Trump
can't.
sold you this unsafe feeling, and he's going to fix it for you. That's what
fuck.
you're telling me.
I didn't. I actually think Donald Trump isn't protectionist enough. I didn't think he was nationalist enough. I think that he's kind of
Are
sold
you a
out to.
full-on fascist, or are you just nationalist at this point?
Have you?
I mean,
have you ever
how
heard
would you define
somebody?
a fascist?
Have you ever heard somebody like read the tenets of fascism?
I mean, you could read them to me. I could tell you if I am or not. I don't know.
Okay.
It's far-right paleogenic ultranationalism, where you want this rebirth of the nation, where the nation's greatness, where it never existed before, but you like this myth of this great nation that once was. Is that kind of where your head is?
I'm not really thinking about, you know.
You were just telling me there was a time in which we used to be this way
you
that
said
you want to
40s,
be again.
50s, and 60s. Yeah.
So okay, so
Yeah.
using the past as a reference for how I want to be in the future makes me a fascist.
Yeah, because
So saying that I
it's
want
like
to bring back factory jobs and bring
It's
back
this
our
mythical greatness.
independence.
It's literally
Right.
paleogenic.
Yeah.
Means this mythical greatness.
Mythical
like-
greatness is
yeah.
our
Mhm.
manufacturing power in the 20th century was mythical.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you
you
want
tried
to
to-
you want to
you
go
tried to-
back to you want to go back to like feeling like we're more important. You want to go back to like where China wasn't such like a big player in trade. Like you want to feel so like you want America to have big muscles on the map like again or something, right? Like this is what you want. But let me go over this. Powerful and
that's not what I want, but go
continuing.
ahead.
This is the 14 tenets of fascism. Powerful and continuing nationalism. Fascist regimes tend to make constant use of patriotic mottos: "Make America Great Again," slogans, "Build the Wall," symbols, MAGA, songs, The January 6th song, paraphernalia, Trump flags, wrapped trucks, tattoos, candy, fucking shoes, Bibles, everything. Flags on things on clothing, public displays. Disdain for recognition of human rights. Trump calls migrants animals. You guys are taking away women's rights because they can't close their legs or whatever. Identification of enemies and scapegoats. Nancy Pelosi, migrants coming from the border. Chuck Schumer.
Communists.
Supremacy of the military. Trump dumped 2.2 trillion into the military. He's going to be using the military to deport people on day one. Rampant sexism. Grab her by the pussy. I get very mad when I come home and my wife hasn't cooked me dinner. These are quotes from Trump. This is who Trump is. Controlled mass media. Trump has got a guy in the FCC who wrote the Project 2025's chapter on the FCC. They are going to control the media. Trump is also just doing civil lawsuits against anybody who talks bad about him. He even listed content creators like myself could be targeted by his libel lawsuits. Obsession with national security. You just gave us a point of that, and I bet you there's about 300 people in my comments right now who would tell us we have open borders. Religion and government intertwined. Trump, selling a Bible, also wants to start a Christian task force. It's going to be a federal Christian task force. It's in Project or Agenda 47. It's on page 13. Corporate power is protected. Trump has 15 billionaires in his cabinet. He's going to give them an additional 5% reduction in corporate tax rates. So he brought them from 35 to 15 in his two presidencies, which is insane, and bankrupting the country. He's also just blatantly tweeting that anyone with $1 billion can come and do business here in America, and they can bypass all regulations. Labor power is suppressed. Trump is anti-union, and he's also bragged about firing people who are on strike on a podcast with Elon Musk, his first lady. Disdain for intellectual arts. They call college liberal indoctrination all the time. Like I always say, imagine if it came out that JD Vance had his bachelor's in gender studies. You guys would shame him into the ground. Obsession with crime and punishment. My last guest just told us how all these people are going to be arrested. He doesn't even know what for, but they're all going to jail because they're treasonous. Rampant cronyism and corruption. We've got Trump, 80-something felonies, indictments. He has pardoned many people in his inner circle. Peter Navarro, Steve Bannon, George Papadopoulos, his daughter's father-in-law, Charles Kushner, who he appointed as ambassador to France. It goes on and on. What's her name? Pam Bondi, he paid her openly 25 grand to drop charges for his fraudulent university stuff, and then appointed her as his attorney general. Fraudulent elections, that one speaks for itself. He lied for 4 years saying the election was stolen, and then he had an indictment in DC for using fake slates of electors to try to overturn the election, and trying to get Mike Pence to pause certification to use those fake slates of electors to throw out the will of 81 million votes.
So, are you a
Okay,
fascist?
yeah, I'm gonna be. Can you hear me? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
His signal's going in and out pretty badly.
Okay. Yeah. Can you guys hear me now? I dropped off my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Maybe that worked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Yeah. I mean, I heard probably like 70% of that, but my Wi-Fi was going out really bad. But I mean, I got the general gist of what you're saying. That Donald Trump, in your, from your perspective and with the information that you have, you feel like he aligns with all of these values and principles. And you're asking me if I align with these as well. And so would that qualify me as the thing that this page is describing? I'm guessing that's the general gist of your point.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is a historical scholar describing what fascist countries all throughout history have shown. So, do you agree with these policies?
I mean, we can just go one at a time if you guys want to. We don't have to, but
We
I
just
don't
went over
agree with all of
them.
them. But I'm sure I could find some I agree on.
Okay. So, as a nationalist, do you think America's number one?
I mean, what does that mean? Number one at what?
That's
don't
what
know.
we
You
ask.
tell me.
Yeah.
I mean, a number one. I mean, that's. I'm not sure what.
Are we
anyone
the
can-
greatest nation?
Again, being number one or the greatest requires some kind of.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of looking for why you're a nationalist. You think this nation is so great that it's better than every other nation, and to the
Okay,
fact
so
that
let's
we can be. Hold on,
right
I was
there.
almost done.
There's
I
a
was
point.
almost
Well, no,
done.
I think
I was
there's a
almost
good
done.
point. I'm
Okay,
listening. Go
but
ahead.
I was almost done.
Go
To
ahead.
the point where we can be detrimental, not only to other nations but to the citizens of this nation.
Okay, so you say if you're a nationalist and you think this nation is so great,
Hmm.
right there, you're assuming that because I'm a nationalist, that assumes that I think that we are number one or that we are great or that we need to restore the nation to greatness or something like that. You're
No,
making assumptions that I never made, and you're saying things I never said. I'm a
no, I'm
nationalist
literally.
because I believe that we should be protectionist. I believe that we should look out for our own interest. I can be a nationalist and be
Well,
in what you might
that's not
consider the worst country in
nationalism.
the
Then
world.
you don't understand nationalism. Then
Nationalism
you're.
nationalism is believing that we should put ourselves first and that we should look out for our own interest first, and we should above all else believe in the greatest parts of our nation and
No,
amplify those not only to one another but also build on those to work out
okay.
our
That sounds
position.
great. That sounds great and really heartfelt. But that's not nationalism. There's more to it.
Okay, so how would you describe nationalism? Because you're saying that I
I
need to
don't describe
we're
it.
number one.
I literally go off of scholars. I read books, and they say that nationalism is upholding one's nation to the detriment of other nations and even the citizens of that country, of that nation. That's what
Sure.
scholars say.
Yeah,
So sure,
I'm down with
okay.
that.
So we
I would
hurt other
agree with that.
nations. We hurt other nations, including the citizens of this nation, for the betterment of this country.
Other nations include the citizens of this nation? What are you talking about?
No, it includes the citizens of this nation as well. So this is where we get like the talk in the 1930s, where it's blood and soil, the blood and soil of the fatherland, and people are working 70, 80 hours a week. They're not getting paid for 70, 80 hours a week because it's for the benefit of the nation. They're doing all the farm work and they're doing all the factory work because it's wartime Germany, and the soldiers need fed and the tanks need built. So they're putting in 70 hours, 80 hours a week at the detriment to the citizens for the betterment of the nation. This is the definition of nationalism by historical scholars. So I'll ask you again: Are you a nationalist?
Yeah, I would agree with what the Germany did in the 1930s in order to get themselves to the point they could defend themselves. So yeah, I guess you could say.
What?
Okay, I'm glad you finally pulled the hood off, bro. Honestly, I'm glad you pulled the
What
hood
is
off
am
and
I
you put
is
the
that
red hat on.
wrong? Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
100%,
Yes,
100%.
absolutely wrong.
Okay,
Yes.
so you tell me where Germany was in 1929.
No. I don't need to tell you jack shit.
I mean, just
Yeah,
explain the context
I
of their
don't sit
country
at the
at that
table.
point.
I don't sit at the table with the Yahtzees, bro. So
Same.
we've got
I
four people
mean,
in queue.
do you have the information
You
or
can
do
see
you
your
not?
way out. You can
I
see
don't
your way
interact
out
with
and
Nazis.
stand next to the wall on your way out, please.
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. Tic Tac, you have a gift. I swear, I've watched him do this so many times today.
It's because I grew up around white supremacy and I can smell
Hello?
this shit like a hound dog.
No,
Hello.
shush. Hello.
Hi, are you MAGA?
Yes, I am.
What do you like about Trump?
He's the best president that ever was.
How so?
This is a child.
I'm actually 18, but okay.
Still a child.
That's not a child, that's a legal adult.
How
Anyways.
is he the greatest? What did he do that was so good?
Well, he boosted our economy.
How so?
He made tax prices lower. And why are gas prices so high now? Like, what the flip?
The
So
kids are out for Christmas, aren't they?
Shut up! Shut up!
Okay.
I'm sorry.
so
could've muted.
so Trump did a thing in 2020. It's called the OPEC deal. The Trump OPEC deal 2020. He raised gas prices by telling Saudi Arabia to stop producing oil to the tune of 9.7 million barrels per day.
He did not raise gas prices.
He did what I just said. That is a fact.
Can you repeat? What's your name?
My name's Pickles.
Pickles?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we
Giggle,
having-
giggle. Is that your like legal birth name?
Yeah.
Yes.
Your legal birth name is Pickles?
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. I know.
So
His
do
mom didn't
people
like him.
like so like when like you're going crazy, do people go like Pickle, get back in your jar?
Yeah, they totally do that
You
all the
just brought
time.
up some trauma for him. It was a really tough time.
This is childhood drama. You're just like thrown out in front of 900 people. That's
Like
wild.
when you're tired, do you go like Pickles out of juice?
No, but I might put that one in my arsenal. It's pretty good.
You know, when I was a little kid, my mom called me Harper J Pickle Pants.
I
All right,
don't-
and a banana. I'm gonna let you get back to playing
No!
Scrabble.
Scrabble!
Playing hide and seek with the fucking.
The way they screamed. Why'd they scream at the end?
I don't know.
Yellow.
Hello.
Are you a Trump
I'm
supporter?
not. No, I'm not. And if you want to move on to a Trump supporter, I totally understand. I'm really digging this.
Thank you. If you want to just say something real quick, you can.
Oh, I think a mod got him.
Oh. All right, chat. Next
I saw him.
guest.
I saw him chatting in the comments though. He was a friendly.
Okay. Much love, man.
Yeah, I'm a friendly. Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh, no, not
God damn
Johnny.
it.
Johnny's definitely he's an undercover trooper.
All right, I mean, all right, let's pretend. Okay.
That was good. That was good.
Hey, how's it going? Good evening.
What's up, bro? Are you a Trump supporter?
Bro,
Of course I am. Of course I am.
bro, this guy comes up here. He's also a self-admitted fascist. JMO.
Yes, I am.
This is
Yes, I
fucking
am.
weird. This
I
is
try to
weird.
make it normal. I try to normalize it so the word doesn't mean shit anymore. Like transphobe, homophobe, all the isms, they don't mean shit anymore.
Are
So
you
I'm
like
trying-
have
that's
you
my
have you
new-
seen
that's my new one.
Clerks? Have you seen Clerks before?
Yeah, I'm 45 years old.
You've seen Clerks?
A long time ago, yes.
You see
It's
the-
kind of corny. It's kind of corny, but go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like them trying to take the word that they were trying to take back. That's what it reminds me
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. No.
Do you think that works? That's gonna work out well?
You ever seen the movie 8 Mile when he called himself everything that he was about to say to him, and he threw the mic back at him, and he got to say,
You're
"What you
trying
gonna
to
say now?
email us. I get it.
What you gonna say now?" And he had
Yeah,
nothing
but
to
that's
say.
not-
You know, I'm a
that's
Trump
not
supporter
okay,
who is
man.
not religious. I'm on the far right, and I'm a fascist. What do you gotta say?
What are you looking forward to that Trump's gonna do?
Everything.
You,
Well, actually,
give
Trump is
me-
not gonna do anything. Trump is gonna sit back. Elon Musk is your president.
What do you can you give me some examples, bro? You work with me here?
Elon Musk is your president.
Are you just here? Are you just doing the 8 Mile thing where you're like, I'm gonna say all the things you're gonna use against me, so you can't say anything?
Yep.
Or do you want to have a debate?
Sure.
Okay, what are you looking forward to that Trump's gonna do?
Send everybody back, all white people back to Europe, and all black people back to Africa.
Bro, can we have a? Is this a real stance you have, or are you just memeing?
No, I'm giving you my answer, not the one you're looking for.
Okay, so what's gonna be good about that?
Well, the only thing is we just gotta wait and see what happens. There's only one way to find out.
Okay, all right. I just want to know, like, what are you thinking when you say I like Trump? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, I want to know
there's no
why I
thoughts.
should like Trump. What's good? What
Yo,
good's gonna come out of this?
I'm Puerto Rican, right? So I'm part of the 60% of trash that voted for Trump. So
I don't
like-
get. Are you just here, like, shaming yourself?
No,
Is
I'm
it
actually,
K-I-N-K?
I'm
What's
actually,
going on?
I'm actually just clowning the words that you use against us, and I know you everything all the
Do you
all
want to
the
shame the words?
isms.
You-
We're
you
tired
got-
of it. So
you
what
got-
we're
you
doing
got
is
us.
we're just showing you. We're showing you that we don't care about it anymore.
You got me real good.
Basically,
You really got me.
we don't care about it anymore. So we're making a big joke out of racism, out of fascism.
I'm not afraid anymore.
Out of
I'm
transism.
not scared.
Is that a new one? Is that did I just made that up? Transism? We're
Why
making
does it
fun of
sound like you're
transism.
gargling peanut butter right now?
I'm eating actually. Sorry. Are you gay or something? Those are gate
You
thoughts
hitting on me?
in your head.
For my entire
Are you
life,
hitting on me,
Bestiality,
J-Mo?
into bestiality.
my own
You
fear.
looking for my grinder, big guy?
I was feeding fear.
Yeah, I never been to Washington D.C. I never heard of January 6th. I don't know what that means.
Fear.
What does that mean?
Really?
Hey man, you know when you come out of the closet, we're going to accept you, right?
Sure.
We're gonna be here for you.
I already came out the closet. I already told you I'm a fascist. There's nothing else to hide.
That's not the closet we were talking about.
Yeah, that's not the closet.
Oh, okay. Sure. There's only 3 doors. Pick which one to go in.
Well, definitely not that one.
J-Mo,
hey.
J-Mo, have you ever actually had a real debate, or are you just up here doing this?
I have, but I'm tired of it. Trump won, so we don't have to. So all we do is clown you guys. That's what we do. We don't have to debate you no more.
Wait, hey JMO, so
We did
since
that
my
for 4 years already. We tired of it. So we just
since
make
my
fun
egg
of you and we play with
since
you.
my egg prices are not
We
going
come-
down,
Yeah, we
can I
come-
bitch to
yeah.
you about it?
You know what's crazy? That
Wait, no,
when
I'm trying
egg
to ask
prices
you like a
went up under
question.
Joe Biden, you didn't say anything.
I'm
When
so,
egg prices went under
I'm so
up under Joe
over
Biden,
just
you didn't say
men
anything.
that
So it's
won't
okay.
shut the
It's
fuck
okay.
up. JMO, can you just stop talking for 5 fucking seconds? I was asking if I can bitch to you about my high egg prices, because those aren't going down.
Well, they went up under Joe Biden. You had no problem.
And they're
so-
not going down under Trump, so I'm really
okay,
pissed
so then
about
there's no
it.
problem. You had no problem for 4 years. Why you got a problem now?
I've
Because
had a problem
Biden
for
didn't
4
do anything
years.
to make those prices go up. Trump is. He's proposing things that make things go up.
Right, sure.
Unless I'm wrong. Can you tell me if I'm wrong about that?
No. Prices went up under Joe Biden.
What did Biden do to do that? What did Biden do to make prices go up?
Nothing.
Just
but
so
they
we
went
can.
under his watch, and you didn't say anything. But all of a sudden, under Trump's watch, now you want
No,
to.
we just have to tell you guys, hey, that's environmental.
Get the fuck out
It's
of
called
here.
COVID.
Now you want to worry about prices?
Now,
Get the
yeah,
fuck outta
COVID
here.
caused prices.
You see
to go
why
up.
we think you're a joke? You see why we laugh at you liberals?
You seem really angry. Do you want to continue talking?
Oh,
or-
here it goes. I knew that was coming. The memo got sent out. Tell all Trump supporters why you so mad. Okay, here it goes. And next is the insults. Let's
I
go.
haven't done anything.
Bro, you're
Get
such
it
a
over
victim
with
here.
already.
You're
Get
such
it
a
over with
victim.
already. Every night it's the same thing.
You're such a victim, bro. I feel bad.
Oh, there it goes. I'm a snowflake.
I mean,
No, I want to make sure you're
Next thing,
okay.
let me
This
hear
is
it. Next thing.
J-Mo, this is a safe
Oh,
space.
poorly uneducated. That's coming.
This is a safe space,
what-
J-Mo.
no one's saying that.
But that's what they usually say. So we just run with it.
No.
We just run with it.
J-Mo, when you're done feeling sorry for yourself, we can have a debate.
You ask me any questions you want. Trump won. I don't have to argue with you, but I can answer you.
No one here is disagreeing with that, by the way.
Okay, so I can answer any questions you want. I don't have to argue with you.
What do you think caused inflation?
I have no clue. I dropped out in the first grade.
The first grade.
Yeah, I'm part of the poorly uneducated that voted for Trump. See, when you ask these stupid questions over and over every night, it gets repetitive, and we just clown you. This is what I'm doing because
Chat, tap the screen. If you're a Trump
Have a good
supporter,
day, man.
hop in the box. If you enjoy these debates, give me a follow.
I heard this quote today. It's a scratch is a pain that can cure another pain. Revolution is also a pain that can cure another pain.
Dude, I put this cream under my eyes, and I swear to God, it's making me tear up.
Just makes you look passionate.
Huh?
Wait,
Just really
eucalyptus.
passionate.
I use this stuff under my eyes. It's making me cry. Maybe I'll get the uncensored.
Menthol eye cream.
Yeah. It's literally menthol eye cream.
No,
It's
that's how it's like tear sticks. I don't know if you guys know about that. You can get them where it's like you just put a
Yeah.
little dab under your eyes and you're crying.
Retinol? Yeah, it's retinol. Damn it. Hello? 9? I
Cataract
reapplied it.
surgery
Yeah.
and eye cream.
What's up, 9? Are you a Trump supporter?
No, I'm not.
You sound so
Are you 9? Are you? Are you 9 by chance?
Just to change his name in a year.
Every year his name changes.
Have I seen 7? Yes. Good movie. Put a knot in your stomach.
What's in the box?
Oh, like you beat me to it. I'm so mad.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, are you a Trump
I have a
supporter?
few questions. I am a Trump supporter, but I'm Australian, so obviously I can't vote. Can I still speak?
Sure.
I have one other question. Why is there 3 of you versus 1 Trump supporter every single time?
I actually built this page on doing 1v1s, and I actually enjoy doing 1v1s more than anything, but I don't know. I've never seen a Trump live with less than 8 panelists, so spare me.
Okay, fair. Well, Dean and Parker usually do a 1v1.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay. Also, with the fact that you guys you guys go back and forth saying that Trump has raised all of the taxes with the pipeline.
What? The pipeline?
Pipeline.
Yeah. So you guys were in here yesterday saying this with the lady that was in here yesterday saying that Trump's raised all of the taxes and that all of the inflation was due to Trump, which is
So
not true, which
he
is false
raised
information.
he raised gas prices. That's an actual fact. He bragged about it.
Yeah, but the purpose and the reason behind that was what? Can we send him to Australia? Absolutely, you can.
So
Why?
the reason he did that was to save a bunch of his rich oil friends.
Yeah, no, that's not why he did that.
Okay, why did
So
he do
why
it?
he did that was to bring in more jobs because the pipeline wanted to be put in through, I think, don't quote me on this, was Russia to Canada, which would have just him approving that would have.
I'm sorry, a pipeline from Russia to Canada?
What?
I believe so.
I don't know
I
how
said
that
don't.
would be
You're
physically
talking about
possible.
the Keystone XL?
I said don't quote me on that one.
Okay, so that's not true. So the Keystone XL is the only pipeline that we've debated about over the last 4 years, and that was a pipeline that was an extension of an existing pipeline. It was only 8% complete. It was from Canada to Mexico or to the Gulf Shore, and it wasn't bringing us like anything. It was Canada's oil. It's Canada's oil. They're going to refine it. They're going to sell it. They do whatever they want with it. It wasn't going to help us. But that was actually stopped during Trump years. That stopped. That was everyone blames Biden, but the Supreme Court struck it down in 2020 when Trump was president. He did that.
So do you have evidence that that's true? Because I've tried to research into that and I can't find that that's true.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely just want to be educated. That's all.
Where'd you get this information that you're saying?
There's a lot of Australians here that are very, very pro-Trump. And this is why they spread all of this information, obviously. So because I personally, Trump as a person, I hate, right? Trump as a leader, from what I've been taught, I believe is very, like he's a great leader for a country, but him as a person, I wouldn't support. Does that make sense?
There's no evidence of him being a good leader. Like he had a 92% turnover with his last administration. Everybody came out and like wrote books, said he's horrible. I hate working with and then everybody blamed the people that left. Like, so he's like infallible in most people's eyes. He's not a great leader. He just like has this weird like aura that you guys give him that he's can't do no wrong. Like people came out and got like rich off of writing books about how bad he was. And 2 of his defense secretaries have come out and said he's like completely incompetent on the world stage. He doesn't know what he's doing. He won't read his briefings. They had to bring him down to 1 page with pictures sometimes, and he still wouldn't read them. There's actually talks about him not being able to read, that it could have been a possibility, and that they were all coming around on TV and being like, I think he might have to quit. Like, this guy's he can't be president. And he never quit. He just kept going with it. He kept faking it till he made it.
Yeah, okay. I get what you're saying, but like that to me is kind of completely irrelevant because Biden was also in power, and I don't think that that's like couldn't even speak.
All of our allies came out, wrote letters, open letters, like the leaders of nations came out and said, and thank you to Biden for everything that he's done. They actually in fact, favorability ratings across the world, there was a Pew Research article that I'll just show you.
Thank you.
It's right here. This is favorability, Biden versus Trump. Sweden, 14% Trump, 63 Biden. It's the same thing all the way down to every one of our allies, besides, wait for it, fucking Hungary, which is an authoritarian dictatorship who's best friends with Trump. Viktor Orban,
Yeah.
who
But
went to his golf club multiple times.
yeah. Okay. So say with I'm sorry, I'm just going a little bit off subject here. But from what I'm aware that Trump do, right? So I know that they like Trump has brought in a lot of this is what I've been told. Obviously, I don't know if it's 100% true, but he's brought in a lot of jobs for the black community, and like their homelessness and their jobs all skyrocketed when he was in power. Which is something I'm very
He
much
didn't.
for.
There's
Like,
no. He didn't. Listen, there was low unemployment during his time in office. He didn't do anything to do that. He didn't do anything. He passed a tax bill that cut taxes for the very rich, and somehow all of the success in the economy that was just from the Obama administration, they just point to Trump, be like, we need more of that. Like, that's all he did. It was his turn to write the tax bill. Every 10 years we write a tax bill. It was his turn. He landed on him. He didn't do this great, awesome thing. It was just his turn to do it, and he cut taxes for himself and his rich friends, and then he told us it was the best thing for us. And then and now, I don't know. They're still in place. If you want that back, it's already here. We're sitting in it.
yeah, okay. So the statistics that like were given were obviously not true.
Yeah, in fact, I'll just show it here. This is Biden, Obama, Trump. These are all of the metrics that you would be interested in. All right, here's economic growth. Nothing crazy, nothing substantial. Biden, Trump, like 2010 to 2020, there's nothing crazy going on there. Here's inflation. So it skyrocketed after this red line on the right, which is just COVID. So you can't really attribute that to any one thing Biden did. But here's employment. Trump, when he came in, he passed that one tax bill. That's the red line on the left. When he passed it, there's no bump. There's no increase in employment. There's no like trajectory change. There's nothing. It didn't do anything. Same thing with this unemployment. Unemployment was decelerating faster under Obama. And when Trump got in office, it decelerated and it just kind of screeched to a halt until COVID. And let's see. Same thing with wages. Wages actually dipped when he passed his tax cut because maybe rich people, I don't know. But yeah, and then where it spiked here in 2020 is just from COVID. When people lost their jobs at the bottom half of the economy, the average went high. Stock market. He even had a big dip right there. We had a scare where it was going to crash the stock market and it didn't happen. And then it finally did after COVID. There's nothing great, substantially awesome about Trump's presidency. He golfed 266 times. That's a record. But that's it.
Okay, one more question. So why do you support Kamala Harris?
Mm-hmm.
And why do you support her?
Because she's the only adult in the room. She did her homework. In 9 weeks, she ran a more detailed presidential campaign with an actual plan for the economy, like actual words on paper, what she's going to do to our taxes, to the housing market, to everything, like everything. And then we were able to look at that and be like, oh, that's gonna be good. Trump did not release a plan. He has no plan. His presidency, his campaign was all about making you feel scared about migrants crossing the border or whatever. Who knows? Or that it's somehow the Democrats' fault that the economy was bad. I don't know. But she had actual plans. She had 27 years in government experience. She's the most qualified candidate to ever run for office.
Okay, I just feel like every time I saw her speak publicly when she was getting asked questions, and this is what kind of turned me off her and like obviously made me more towards Trump, because I feel like every time she spoke, she was asked a question of what she was going to do to help certain things when she gets into presidency, and every single time she just reworded the question, didn't actually answer it, acknowledged that it was like an issue, but she just reworded it and then said, yeah, it's an issue, we need to do something about it, but she never did anything about it.
The thing is, like, you guys can, like, people can clip interviews all day and make people sound dumb, but this lady is a literal, like, Juris Doctorate. She is a lawyer. She's worked in all the like arms of the government. She knows what she's doing. And if you actually listen to some of Trump's speeches, you'll never hear him talk intelligently about anything. I've never heard about him talk in nuance about anything. We have clips about him talking about sharks and batteries, about how there were airports in this fucking Revolutionary War,
Well, I
about
think that's just his personality, though, to be honest. I don't think he's
okay,
being legit.
no, that's all we get from him. Like, okay, a few
Yeah, I
years
get what
ago,
you
we can be
mean.
like, okay, well, maybe he's smart some other time. No, it's been 10 years. He's never said anything smart. He doesn't. He has nothing good to share with us. He comes up with a plan every other day. It's new. When he was campaigning, he's like, "I'm going to cut your taxes." I was shitting this morning, and I'm going to cut overtime taxes. That was my idea. And tomorrow, I'm going to cut these people's taxes. And basically, he said everybody that he needed votes for, he's going to cut their taxes. And now we're looking at all these tax cuts, and it's like, okay, who's going to pay the bills next year? Nobody knows. He thinks his tariffs are going to pay the bills, but that's just going to make, like, if his tariffs are that effective, we're going to be poor paying these bills.
Yeah. Well, I just like, well, for example, they said that Australia would benefit greatly as soon as Trump comes into power money wise. Because we're money wise right now, obviously, Australia isn't doing very well, the cost of living and everything. And they said that Trump coming into power would fix that. That's what the message that was conveyed to us was.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. I would ask how.
Very confusing.
Yeah. That's what I mean is very confusing because a lot like when I was in your live yesterday, the girl that you had in here was very informative. So like everything she always had the receipts and recordings that she could play, and it was just completely different to anything that we were like ever told over here. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens. Yeah, that happens. I don't know. You're welcome to hang out and watch more, but usually people do sometimes find themselves living kind of in a bubble of people and opinions. And I grew up in a conservative family. I didn't know any of this until a few years ago. So,
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you. I think I'll just listen to a few more conversations.
okay. Thanks for coming up.
Thanks, bye.
Bye. Whoop, whoop.
I think it's important to acknowledge that Russia has its fingers in every single continent and every single country in this world. Like, no matter who comes up here, they have the same talking points, the same Russian propaganda.
I would agree.
Yellow.
Hello.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I'm a Trump supporter. Yes.
Are you over 18?
Sorry.
Are you over 18?
Yes, I'm over 18. I'm 28.
Okay. What do you like about Trump?
Oh, I like Trump about his policies. Like, for example, I can share with you like his border policy, like Title 42, and his no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. And Trump's policy is like his when he first came into the White House in 2017 to 2020, his first term. I think he do pretty well in everything, like his economy wise, his trade wise. He has no walls around America, in our country, America, and much more. Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I like about him.
Okay, so you brought up Title 42. Title 42 cannot be, you can't bring that back unless we're under a health pandemic. Like, Title 42 is something we like enact when we're having a crisis, like COVID. So when Biden came into office, he fought to keep Title 42 active all the way until 2023 when they turned it off. Or it's either 2023 or 2022. I think it was 2023, June. They
2023. It
yeah.
was 2023 because that
It's
was
like
it
June
was within
6th.
like
Yeah.
yeah, because like in May was when the pandemic was officially over. So yeah, it was right after that.
Yeah. So the Title 42 can't come back. That's not a magic thing that Trump can do. We have the same laws that Trump had in place when, like, in his first 3 years of presidency. The only other thing that Trump would do at the border is more child separation, which he's already mentioned he's going to do. But I don't like his stance on the border. I think he's just a weirdo. Tax on tips. We are worried about this. So Trump is probably going to do a thing to create loopholes for executives to pay themselves in the form of tips so they can avoid taxes, probably make us go bankrupt even more. It actually shows that the majority of people who make up money on tips don't even file those tips in their federal taxes, or they don't make enough money to even meet the minimum to be taxed on those tips. So
I respect your opinion from your political belief, but I feel that for the border issue, because Joe Biden, when he came into office as president of the United States, he basically undo 90 executive order on Trump policy, and then when in 2021 wise to 2022, basically the border was inflated by illegal immigrant, like because basically like those like drug cartels, murderer, rapists. I mean, it's all over on the news. Like if you went to the border itself, on the border, basically it's pretty bad shape. Like in the like for example, I can give you some specific details like those like Arizona or Texas, or it depends where you live, like which state. So basically, I think that it's pretty bad shape right now
I live in
because I
Texas,
have.
and
Is you live in
it's
Texas? Do you went
yeah.
down to the border?
He
itself?
lives on the border. Tic Tac lives on the border. He just left, but he could literally just show you on his phone right now the picture of the border. No one's there. It's
Yep, there's
it's not
TikTok.
real.
He's
It's
in the
dead.
comments.
Listen, what happened with these
Because
executive orders? Trump always mentions, people always mentioned all these executive orders that were undone by Biden. And you have to know, executive orders are temporary. Like, they're not law. You can't just be a dictator and write a bunch of executive orders and they'll be there for the end of time, especially if they're against the law. Some of the executive orders that Biden undid were things like remain in Mexico. That was unconstitutional. Supreme Court said it was. So, like, things like that, I don't think helped our national security, didn't help the border. We, in fact, we were more scrutinizing at the border than Trump was. We have better numbers with rejection rate. It's just a matter of fact that a lot of people came to the border. So we apprehended most of them. And out of those 12 million, we kicked roughly half of them out. And in fact, right now, our population of undocumented migrants is roughly the same as what Trump had when he, like in 2018. It's the same amount of people. There's no invasion,
yes,
and they help
yes,
our economy. So
yes,
it's not
but
an actual problem.
yes, but basically for Trump wise, he's basically when he deport people, it's like around 1.8 million. For Obama wise, it's around 2.4. So it's much higher rate from the for the Dems. You call it Democrats.
Yeah, but
So
he
if you
was in
compare it
office for 8
wise, so
years.
basically, yes. But when he deport so many people, he did like the news media coverage didn't say, oh, he did like a
Obama
bad
didn't
job or
run
something like
on
that because
demonizing migrants. Like, this is not an issue. Like, if Obama's like, all right, we're gonna like tidy up, we're gonna, the people that are in prison, we're gonna deport them. Like, those were the people that Obama deported, not people walking around living here for 20 years with families that have jobs that contribute to the economy. Those are the people Trump wants to deport, and he's talking about deporting their family members if they want to go with them. And what that is going to do to our economy is it's detrimental. Like, we have multiple economists. We even have a bunch of newspapers that did stuff yesterday on it. It's going to be akin to the Great Depression if he does do this. It will cause
yes,
really bad problems.
Well, and the tariffs would already be putting us pretty close to a depression.
Yeah.
So removal of 12 million people is just going to push us right over the edge.
Answering to your question about tariff, so basically I think tariff is pretty good because what Trump policy does for the tariffs is basically bring all the world leaders like Canada Prime Minister, Mexico President Claudia Sheinbaum to come to the negotiation tables. And basically what he do for the tariffs is basically he will bring back jobs like auto workers, UAW workers, jobs because they lost jobs under Joe Biden administration. For
They
Republican
didn't, though.
sides, yeah,
I don't know exactly. We only have, so there's only 8 million jobs that are not filled in America. And Trump's already met with Trudeau and with I don't
Yes,
want to mispronounce her name, with the Mexican president. They have not agreed to negotiate his terms, by the way. So I don't know why
Basically,
people like
Canada Prime
have
Minister
you
he came down to
wait
Mar-a-Lago because
have you
he was
thought of the
negotiating.
wait, hold on. Have you thought of the possibility that there won't be a single country that wants to do trade with us if we do this?
It depends on which country are you referring to.
Any of them that he's threatened. Like
Actually,
why should they keep doing trade with an unfaithful like trade partner? Like because we have what is it called again? Pickles my brain is escaping. What trade deal is it with Canada and Mexico?
The USMCA.
I
USMCA,
know.
yeah. Like so if we just violate terms agreements and trade deals we make with because, you know, someone has big feelings, then why the frick would anybody make other trade deals with us?
By the
Yes.
way, Kix
Basically
says hi.
last time. Okay, basically last time, right? So basically, Trump basically in the White House he scrapped away the NAFTA deal and go to USMCA because it was a much better trade deal. But basically, the reason why Trump tariff Canada and Mexico, the reason why is because of the border issue. If you watch the news on like I know Democrats is not a fan of Fox News, but a lot of senators in Republican and a lot of uh like the Trump Tom Homan, the new border czar. So basically he lay out a lot of their plans, their policy was what is gonna move forward for the next 4 years on the border.
Yeah.
Okay, that told me absolutely nothing.
What's
So perhaps maybe like we've seized more FD rug under Biden than we were under Trump. We've seized a substantial amount at the border. Maybe perhaps look at the ports of entry via ocean. Like I feel like a lot of people forget that.
But
Also,
where is
maybe
the
also don't tell Republicans to unalive bills that supply more border agents to help with that.
yeah, I respect your opinion, but I mean like but where is like the 300,000 children have Joe Biden have like misplaced it
Let's
because
talk
he
about
talking
that.
about
Let's talk about that. These 300,000 children you're talking about
yes
are from the last 40 years, and actually more of it was from Trump's administration than Biden's. And out of those 300,000, roughly 20,000 or I think it was like 16,000 were the murderers, right? These people are all largely in federal prison, and they won't be released to ICE until they're done with their sentences. So that's who they're talking about. They tricked you. You fell for it. This is not a real thing.
So can you share with me more about like what is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris accomplished with the Democrat Party in their White House term for 4 years and in Congress, what they do for us as Americans? Like
Sure, I can tell you what they
what
did.
it benefit us
I
for.
want you to tell me what Trump did after I do this, though, okay? So when Biden
Sure, I
first
will be happy to do that.
when Biden first came into office, he did a thing called the American Rescue Plan. And it put kids back in school, shots in arms, over 100 million vaccines were administered, cops back into the streets, and it gave us some checks. And he brought 8 senators from red states to write this legislation with him. It was the first bipartisan action meaningfully in the last 4 years since Trump was such a knucklehead. And then he did the infrastructure bill. And this created, so far, I believe it's 56,000 jobs, which create, or 56,000 projects, which are many, many, many jobs. And this was 2.2 trillion, I believe, which is the biggest infrastructure bill since Eisenhower, which is a long time ago. And then he did the PACT Act, which is the largest veteran health care bill in decades. It gave people who were exposed to toxic burn pits recourse, and 1.2 million Americans have applied and benefited from this, my brother being one of them. And then another thing that he did was the Chips and Science Act, and this creates microchips here and invests in a lot of manufacturing jobs. So right now, we create 10% of the world's microchips. By 2030, we should be about 20. He also did things like the Inflation Reduction Act, and this invested a lot into the IRS, which for every dollar we spend in the IRS, we get $5 to $9 back. And it also gave us a 15% minimum corporate tax for people making 400K and over.
May I ask you about the policy for Inflation Reduction Act? Because Inflation Reduction Act, so what did Kamala do in the Congress? So basically she make a tie-breaking vote. So in order to pass the Inflation Reduction Act, so basically it raise up inflation around 9% high. So basically like those like grocery prices, food prices,
What
gas
makes
prices went so high.
what part of the Inflation Reduction Act caused
Policy?
inflation?
Yeah. Yes.
What part of that caused inflation?
Basically what caused the inflation, because once the bill is passed through Congress,
What did the bill
because
do?
the bill basically is like for what I saw in the newspaper article, so like ABC or whatever, it caused the inflation to skyrocket high.
No, I'm not. I'm asking you, like, what was the bill supposed to do, and how did it cause inflation?
How does the Inflation Reduction Act cause inflation, you mean? So basically I can't give you a specific answer for that, because for what I know from the newspaper article, it says that it caused inflation as high as 9% for hurting us as Americans for cost of
No. So the Inflation Reduction Act actually paid for itself. I don't see how it ever caused inflation. It's actually brought in around $240 billion. So what it did was it created a bunch of jobs in the IRS. Those people then sought people who weren't paying their tax bills properly and collected more IRS revenue because of that. And they also put the 15% minimum corporation tax, so that if you're making $400,000 and you've found a way to loophole all of your tax liabilities, you at least have to pay 15%, which is fair. And then it made a lot of investments in renewable energy, which made a lot of jobs. Like people they have to go and make batteries now. Created tons of jobs. So it didn't create inflation. Nothing about that creates inflation. That is a straw man. Like it literally just doesn't compute. Doesn't make sense.
But based on the Fed chair, like interest rate cuts from 2022 statistic reports from the data from the Fed, I think after the cut is still pretty high, because a lot of like American people on the ground, they complain that it's like
what do
pretty
you
expensive.
Why do we have to raise the interest rate? Who does that?
Who does that? Like who raised the interest rate, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Interest rate, because normally for what I know is interest rate is normally from the Fed chair. So normally
let me just tell you, the Federal Reserve controls interest rates. When inflation is high, the Federal Reserve increases interest rates on purpose. They do this intentionally to combat inflation. That's why interest rates are up. The person who did that, his name is Jerome Powell. Do you know who appointed Jerome Powell? Donald Trump.
Yeah, he appointed Jerome Powell in his administration. Yeah, I have to admit that. Yes, it's true. So, is this the policy that you like about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris?
Mm-hmm. Now it's your turn. Give me your favorite policy from Trump.
My favorite policy for Donald Trump, I think he did good at the border wise. Like I can name you some. If you don't mind, I will. If you don't mind, I will use like Google to find the policy wise. Yeah.
I can save you time. He didn't pass any bills for the border, so you'll spend a lot of time looking for that.
Okay, so because normally I know that he's when he's term, he's like can hold down the inflation rate to pretty low, like around
How did he do that? What bill did that?
Yeah, if you want some like sources or specific details, I have to Google it and tell it.
Yeah, so like what you guys do is you just imagine Trump's face, and then you imagine the economic situation we were in when he was in office. None of you guys know what he actually did, which is nothing. He did nothing. This is why you don't know this. Like we don't say we don't say Biden economy bad, Trump good, therefore Trump's good at the economy. No, we just like look at what they did, and it's like, oh, these are the impacts those things had on the economy. Those all look good. And then I look at Trump's things, and it's like I don't like how that affected the economy. The economy was still okay before COVID hit, but like Trump's not the man that created that good economy. It was just simply before COVID and came and wrecked the world. He's not. He already admitted he can't bring this back. He has no solution for any of this besides deporting people because he made y'all angry about migrants. That's not going to help the economy. No
But
matter how good he is at
but
that,
if
it's not going to help the economy.
but if Trump is that bad, so why did 72 millions of Americans vote for him to come back to the White House instead of Joe
Because
Biden and Kamala
72
Harris
million
as president
Americans,
now?
if I all asked them all of these questions, they would all say that exact same thing. They don't know. Why did they do it? You don't know. They don't know. They were
Lack of
all
education.
conned like you.
It's lack of education. America's education is like not doing that great fifth grade reading comprehension level, and so because propaganda works, fear mongering is one of the oldest tricks in the book.
You would be surprised if you sit back and watch my stream. Every single one of my guests says that exact same thing. Why did everybody else vote like this? I can't be wrong.
So do you have confidence that Democrat will take back the Congress in 2026?
I don't have confidence. I hope they do, though.
Because from what I heard from your sharing and the other lady from the guest from your sharing, for Democrat point of view, I think that you guys have confidence. But I feel that it's up to the American voters to vote whether 2026 and 2028 election will hold by Democrats.
Well,
I think
I mean,
you're just looking
I'll
for
tell you,
that's confirmation bias. That's what you're hoping for. You're hoping that a
and
lot more
also I'll
people
tell
agree
you
with
how
you
they'll
again. That's it.
I'll tell you how they'll lose it by continuing to lean right, by continuing to give in to moderate. I'm going to tell you that millions of Americans set out because Harris, she leaned too far right. A lot of leftists didn't like it.
But isn't it Democrats like been in power for the last 12 years? Obama, Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris for the last 12
So
years.
12 out of 16 years.
And Republican,
That's
like,
another
four
quote that I've
years?
heard. I've heard from you guys. 12 out of the last 16 years. It's incredibly disingenuous because if you just say 20 years, it's 12 out of the last 20 years. So.
But Republican rise is only 4.
Eight out
Trump got impeached
eight out of the last 9 recessions were Republican led. Y'all have never done good at the economy. Every red state is by far in worse shape in every economic metric and crime metric in general than blue states. You guys do not perform well at anything.
in terms of which policy wise, like we as Republican like did badly. That you for your opinion wise from the Democrat Party is bad.
I'm sorry.
For your opinion wise, which policy for us, my party Republican did bad in Congress that didn't satisfy, like make it like a bipartisanship for Democrats. That you say that is bad.
What policy that would I
Yeah.
say would be is bad from Republicans?
Yes, something like that. Yeah.
I don't know, rolling back child labor laws, taking abortion,
the debt ceiling?
increasing the debt ceiling, outlawing abortion in multiple states, creating OBGYNs, making them flee the state to the tune of like 20% in some states, creating healthcare deserts and less opportunity for women, making just general healthcare for people with vaginas impossible. They've also just completely bankrupted the United States by reducing everyone's taxes because they can't run on it. They have nothing to offer anybody. All they can offer you is your own money. That's it. That's all they can offer you. They do not excel at anything.
Cuts to veteran affairs, cuts to Medicare and Medicaid that they promise they won't do, but yet somehow always end up doing.
Yeah.
I mean, for abortion rights, but do you guys know how the abortion was overturned? Do you guys know? Like,
I
if
am
the
aware of
legal-
exactly how it was overturned, and I think it's preposterous. I
It-
think that if you as a Supreme Court justice can lie under oath, I don't believe you should be allowed to be a Supreme Court justice anymore.
They lied about that specifically, all of them. Kavanaugh, on camera, we have it. We said, "Do you respect Roe v. Wade?" He goes, "I believe Roe v. Wade is precedent and it shouldn't be touched." And then those same people overturned it. Tight.
The reason why Roe versus Wade was overturned because there was before was Trump administration when Trump was in the White House. Basically, the pro-life Republican young Gen Z woman and Republican woman they basically protest to turn over Roe v. Wade. But Democrats
I'm
they
sorry,
call it the
pro-life
Jim Crow
Gen
law.
Z women? What? That is a weird mixture of words. Most
Yeah,
pro-lifers are
no,
going
I
to be
mean
with
no,
most
it's
pro-lifers are going to be late 30s going into their 40s and up.
yeah.
The
No,
younger
I
you
mean
get, the more
basically
pro-choice people are.
yeah, because normally for Republican they love to keep babies like they call it a pro-life. But
Well, they
for
like white
Democrats,
babies, if we want to be specific.
yeah.
It's pro first
Yes.
birth. Pro grapeable grape and first forced birth. Like Texas, we have 20,000 pregnant women here.
26,000.
26,000 now pregnant women in Texas that are victim of grape, and if they go try to seek abortions, there's a $10,000 bounty on people's heads or anybody that assists them.
So can you tell me like basically if abortion come back, like Roe come back on the policy wise in Congress, what will benefit the women for the Republican? Because pro-life they don't like abortion. I mean just to
So
be
they can just not
facts.
have one if they don't like them.
It's super easy. Like like for instance, Pickles is drinking Pepsi. I don't like Pepsi. I'm not a huge fan of Pepsi. I just don't choose a Pepsi when I go to the store. I choose a different beverage.
Yeah.
Super simple.
My girlfriend's vegetarian. She doesn't make me eat vegetarian. She cares about animals. But I love chicken though.
Okay. So do you have any more like
Oh yeah. Are you friends with Killer Kicks?
no, I'm not friend with Killer Kicks. Yeah, I just came to your live to like have fun to have some debate policies in politics issue. Yeah.
I like it. So
yeah. And thank you for the opportunity to letting me up in your guest.
Can you tell me you love me?
All right, but I love you as a friend. Yeah, okay.
I love you back.
Thanks, man.
Okay, bye.
We love each other here. Just a couple of Care Bears.
Can you tell me you love me? He was so hesitant. Yeah, look at the only person he follows.
You?
Yeah. Yeah. This guy, y'all, I want you to be careful. If he starts messaging you, DMing you, report him and block him. This is his second account. He started harassing me, I guess is what you would call it, last week. And it basically was him just telling me, he loves me, he loves me, he loves me. I said, that's weird, please stop. He said, why is that weird? We're dating. Things like that. Yeah, I don't know this guy. I think I had first recognized him in Harry's life. I think that's where I saw him. But anyway, yeah, if he starts messaging you, it's going to get weird, I promise. Block and report.
I might because I'm only at friendship level. I feel like I got to compete.
Come on, get your man.
Care Bear, I'm coming for that ass.
How do you have the audacity to come up here and say you don't know me and we're not friends? I thought we were friends. Oh. He also works in politics and with lawyers, but only on the right. So
Perfect.
Hello. All right, let's do this quick mod announcement. Let's get this party started. We got to get some spice up in here. Everyone, let's tap that screen. Tap that screen. It's a Friday night. Let's get Pickles to 200K. Give Artemis a follow. Give her some coins. Kicks is up here also. Follow her. Pickles, go ahead and visit his bio. His Cash App, Venmo is in there. Join our Discord, please and thank you. We
follow
got the
Story.
Discord, and we have a book club. We meet on the second and fourth Mondays. Currently reading Mary L. Trump's book. We have movie night this Saturday. We're watching Die Hard. I think it's 9 p.m.
Yo,
Central
tomorrow.
Standard
Yeah.
Time. And to join Pickles Discord, you do not have to subscribe. So you can join the Discord without subscribing. I know I get that question often. You do not have to subscribe to get that. And let's show some love, you guys. Let's get on to 200. Tap, 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 tap. And let's get those shares to 1,000. Let's get
Yeah.
them. Hi, Artemis. How are you doing tonight? Did she walk away? And also, President Biden, he has 235 federal judges. He's confirmed 235 federal judges, more than Trump did in his 4 years. That's my
Hell
nugget.
yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you guys
Did
so
you already
much.
say that they did? We did avert a government shutdown. If you guys have not seen it, it was averted. Democrats did go ahead and help them pass that. And we did not increase the debt ceiling.
Love it.
But you guys say that Democrats do all the spending.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well, I
Alrighty, I'll
appreciate
see you later.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Killer.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. I'll be around.
Alrighty.
I'll see you later. Bye.
What's up,
Drop
Morgan?
me.
How you doing? Not a Trump supporter. I have a few questions that maybe you can answer. The first one is, if the government continues to be shut down on January 20th, will Trump just be able to force through all of his cabinet picks?
I don't think so.
And
We averted though. We're good.
it's averted. All right, cool. Then it doesn't mean anything. And the other one is, when we look at the media landscape, everything's moving to the right. It's all getting bought by right billionaires. Even our social media owners are going to the right. Is there any chance that we can get actual messages out? That's why people on the right don't understand that Harris did more than just talk about simple minority groups like trans rights and all that other stuff, because they wouldn't show anything she was saying. They just kept pushing these special interest ideas that she had, and that's why nobody knew anything of what she was talking about.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the special interest stuff, but I think she generally had a better plan. She just didn't use as much inflammatory rhetoric to sell it. I don't know. I don't know who else after Trump is going to lie with the same gall that Trump did this whole time, but we'll see. I don't know. But Morgan,
well, I don't even know. I don't even know if they need to.
I'm gonna get to opposition though. I appreciate you coming up though. Okay.
Hey, no problem. Have a good one.
Alrighty. Chat friendlies. Please do not get in my box. Opposition only. Yellow?
Hi, Pickles.
What's up, dude? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
What do you like about
What
Trump?
about it? Well, you're a capitalist, aren't you?
Yep.
There you go. He's the best capitalist.
Is he?
He's
filed bankruptcy quite a few
that's
times.
what capitalists do.
I
What
would
do you
say,
mean?
but wait, there's
Take all the
capitalists
money,
that
and then you
haven't.
file bankruptcy. Then you take a bunch of more money, then you file bankruptcy again.
I'm
Yeah, but
just
That's how
saying.
capitalism
I'm just saying.
works.
Okay, so
That's why
here's
they
the
have
thing.
bankruptcy laws.
This is what I always tell people. I have never seen Trump, in his brilliance, like in any of his businesses. Like, look at Elon Musk. Like, he's got great ideas. You know, maybe he steals a bunch of them. Maybe he buys a bunch of them. There's some brilliance there. But like Trump just does like Trump water, steaks, vodka, but he just puts his name on it and he thinks there's like an easy market to take advantage of. Like he just like he has no brilliance. Like if he was like this logistics genius or this branding genius.
He's an old school capitalist. I mean, the dude is a million years old. You want him to be
So
making
he's
spaceships and
so
pioneering AI? He
no,
doesn't even know
I'm
how to
just
use a
saying
cell phone.
I'm just saying he doesn't like if he had this like great thing that he started like 10 years ago, and it's like culminated into this thing where it's like, dang, he's really good at logistics or social media, which he's not. All of the things that he's invested in, none of it's great. He just slaps his name on
Bro,
it, and it just
there's no
it's
such
shit.
thing as being good at social media. Social media is a cesspool. You just gotta
Dude, he
be
owns
the
Truth Social. He better be good at it.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
marketing's actually
You just
extremely
troll. All you
important.
gotta do on social media is troll all day. You should know that better than
No, I'm
anyone.
talking about
That's
owning a
depressing.
company. It's not your job to just troll people when you own a social media company.
Says who?
Says all of
What
the
is
successful media
That's
companies.
just
Elon
crappy
owns
I don't
Twitter?
marketing. I'm sorry,
know.
that's just
Elon
crappy
owns Twitter.
marketing.
What happens as soon as you download Twitter? Any new account immediately gets trolled by Elon nonstop. Any
Yeah,
new Twitter
that's
account is
why people are leaving.
Okay,
Elon.
and
That's what you
Dude,
do when you own a social
can
is
you
Twitter
media
can you
successful
stop
company.
yet? Are
scrolling?
they successful yet? Are they making profit?
Hey, it stole an election.
Okay.
Sounds pretty
All right.
successful to
So
me.
it's not turning a profit.
And actually, millions of users are leaving
Oh, come
TikTok en
on.
masse.
Elon's net worth has doubled. He went from
It
250 billion. He's now worth 450 billion since the
yeah,
whole
and
470
he will unalive
since the
alone,
election.
shadow presidency.
and
It's
he will
capitalism.
and he
If
will
you're a
unalive
I get that
capitalist,
alone.
you just love this
if you're a
capitalism idea. I
capitalist,
think yes,
then you
you
should
can,
support any sort of capitalist shenanigans that people are up to, because that's what capitalism is, and it never has been
you a big
anything other
leftist?
than
Is that what you're getting at?
if I'm a big leftist,
Yeah.
oh, the left is just like, people just don't like hypocrisy. So if America wants all the resources and you want to dominate the planet and you want to be the most selfish country in existence, then do that.
Are
But
you
don't pretend
what are
like
you
you're
what
some sort of like white knight, but you're some sort of capitalist white knight who wants to like, bro, what are you
So
on?
lost.
Pick a
I'm
side.
are you communist, socialist?
Hey, check my name, bro. You can tell what I am.
I can only see the word Damon.
Yeah.
Or what are you an
Anarchist?
anarchist?
I believe that the world exists in anarchy. Yeah. I don't believe that
Okay.
the world needs to exist in anarchy. I believe the world does exist in.
Chat, if you're a
Yeah,
MAGA
that was
supporter, hop in the box. If you
it
like
was very
Trump,
confusing.
hop in the box. I'm not a capitalist. I'm a demon.
Yeah, no, at first I thought maybe he was trying to prove a point, being like, okay, are you like a communist? Are you socialist? It's like it's very confusing.
Hello?
Hello?
What's up, man? Are you a Trump supporter?
Mostly Commonwealth. I can see both sides.
I don't want anybody like trying to role play up here, though. Are you actual?
Damn, you kinky tonight, bro? Role playing? What do you mean role playing?
Like some people try to come up here and play devil's advocate when they're not Trump supporters.
Oh, like seeing you don't see both sides?
I see both sides, sure.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I got an echo from you, by the way.
It's still there, brother? Is
Test.
it? Hello?
Yeah.
Test. Boot me then. I'll just listen in the distance. My bad.
All right. Taking a poop. Chat, when you got to poop, you got to poop. Kicks, thank you so much for the sub. Got to poop, chat. It's chill. Yellow?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Howdy. How's your day been?
It's been pretty Gucci. How about yours?
Pretty good too. All right. So first off, I want to say everyone has the right to opinions. I am a Trump supporter. Let me say that. Everyone has the right to opinions. Both. And what I'm trying to say is that everyone has the right to opinions. Sorry. And abortions, if you get raped or if it's for the mother's life, it's okay. But if it's like no reason, I don't personally really agree with it, but Your choice. So I want to hear your argument first, and then I will speak a little bit of mine, if that's okay with you.
W. Dr. Jace for the 10 subscriptions.
Thank you so much. Who sent that?
Dr. Jace.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Chase. You're the best. Okay, we're back. So if you're trying to debate abortion, I'll let you take that one, Artemis.
Oh, thank you.
I wasn't really trying. I was just trying to say that everyone has the right to opinions, and if I have poor connection, my bad. Sorry. I was just trying to say I don't really agree with, like, if it's not for the mother's life, like if she needs to have it for her life, I agree. But if it's also like if she was raped, then I agree with maybe a little bit of abortion. But when it's like no reason to really have it, it's kind of
Can I get your age really quickly?
19.
Okay. So let me just ask this question.
Yeah.
Are you saying this is like, would you want abortion to be illegal except for in those cases? Or are you just saying that's your own personal stance?
It's my personal own stance, but I would prefer having it illegal like that unless it is like that. But it won't pass through.
But
And
if it could, would you?
yeah, I don't know if I would have to ask, like me personally, I would have my whole entire family. I have a ton of liberal part of my side of my family. I would grab both and I would try to hear both the arguments. That's what I would personally do.
Okay, but I mean, I guess I'm asking because like the
Yes,
thing
then,
is that when it
but,
comes
but just off me, then yes, I would.
okay, okay, then you would go with legislation. Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you legislate in the life of the mother?
Well, if it's for the life of the mother, then it's okay.
But how would you legislate that?
Damn. I'll give you that. You got me on that. I will give you that.
Yeah, there's no there's no right answer to that, only wrong ones. You can't legislate in the case of the life of the mother because there's so many different medical conditions that can happen, and you also can't substantiate when you're allowed to like so like when you say for the life of the mother, like does that like 20% close to unaliving, 30%, 40, 50, 60? Like how close does the woman have to be to unaliving
there
before
you
she
go.
gets medical care?
I would say at least 20%, as if I don't want any chance of anyone really dying, if that's fair to say.
Okay, so then we would go like so if she's only like 19% close, then she wouldn't be able to get the care. But it could go from 19 to 80 overnight. That's the
Yes.
difference is that this is
Mhm.
where it gets complex. You could have preeclampsia, you could start
Mhm.
becoming septic, you can start to have an active like
Yes.
miscarriage. There's so many different things that can go wrong. And what many doctors are talking about is that they can give you there's a doctor did a really great job of actually giving a case from start to finish of a woman who was going through a high risk pregnancy, and that basically whenever you felt like that you could say that's when she should get an abortion, you should raise your hand. No one could figure it out because
Okay.
medical care can't be black and white. It's an area of gray.
All right, thank you. Great debate, but I also want to get to more topics. I want to say thank you for your debate.
Mhm.
You seem like a lovely person. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Okay.
And
So what else do you like about Trump?
okay, so I really like some of his policies. Like I like trying to give veterans more homes, trying to at least. That what I think is great. And then I actually have a list of this right now. I was preparing the whole time to do everyone's debate, just preparing too.
Okay.
Also, like if you're when illegals kill U.S. citizens, they get death penalty. I do agree with that. As I think it was Noah Wiley, was that her name? The 12-year-old who died from a illegal killing her.
Okay.
I will say her family has asked too many times to stop bringing her up.
Yes, yeah. I haven't really heard much of her. I try to keep it quiet, but I want to say, don't say illegals. I'm sorry.
I would say that more American citizens unalive people than we see undocumented migrants unaliving people.
I and I've also I have people mentioning me. I should probably shouldn't really worry.
Hey, so how prominent do you think this problem is? People being unalived by undocumented people, because for all we know, there could only be 2, and you just see them in the news all
Well,
the
yeah,
time.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. There was another case. Well, okay, so Kamala Harris, she let out a guy who killed. Okay, it's just
Mhm.
going to be a long day.
So like
So I bet-
17,000
yeah.
17,000 people were unalived last year.
Mhm.
So we've got 2 of them now. How
Mhm.
big of an issue is this? How many people do you think were unalived by migrants?
I don't have an exact number. I will say a good bit.
A good
Not.
bit?
Mhm.
What if I told you
I
it
don't have an
was
exact number.
What if I told
I
you it
was
was
not. I
29?
was. I'll be honest. I was not planning on going exactly this way. I was going to do more on gas, but
Okay,
it
but
went
let's
on
talk
this
about
way.
this.
Yes.
There were only
Yes.
29 murders last year from undocumented migrants. Is that a big portion of 17,000 or a small one?
Small one, but still not good. Don't want anyone dying from illegals
I don't think like I think
undocumented people.
anybody can be bad. I don't think it's specifically like common for undocumented migrants to do this. So I don't think there's a correlation. So in fact, if they're less likely to do this, which it seems they are, they're like
Hold up.
1/4 less likely to do things like this. We should like if we flooded like Texas right
Undocumented.
now with undocumented migrants, our crime rate
Mhm.
would plummet.
Alright, hold up. Stella Bella in the comments had a question. I'm gonna let Hole. If you want to type in the comments real quick, I would try my best to answer.
No,
I'm.
they have a.
Don't read the
Yep.
comments.
Yep. Sorry. I've never it. Alright, but I'm gonna need to more gas. I'm more. So when I go to the years where Trump was in office, I see gas averages. This is gas averages, okay? So you had $2.14, $2.72, $2.60, and then in COVID deal it was $2.17, which went down. Trump was still in office. I was proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
What do you think he did to do all that? So like these gas prices,
so here's the thing,
they
the
just
tariffs.
they just kind of
So
do their own.
the tariffs actually helped bring that down a little bit. I will let you talk.
The
Sorry for
tariffs, dude?
interrupting you.
I'm just like so just start explaining like what did he do? You cannot brag. Here's going to be our new rule. You cannot brag about statistics that Trump had without just telling me like what did he do to do that? What did he do? What did he do about gas prices? How did he help you with those?
Tariffs. The tariffs actually do help. I get that. The only thing it really brought down more stuff, and I see that with your face. It
The
was just
tariffs
bringing
from
down.
2019?
Yes, the tariffs actually did help bring down gas.
So
and
in 2019, here we go. But what happened in 2020? Why do you think gas skyrocketed in 2020? What do you think happened right there?
COVID.
So the whole year of
Everything was shut
2020,
down.
during 2020, the price of gas was really low. Was it because people were driving all of a sudden that they needed all this gas?
I said COVID, but
yeah, but that's not the whole story. So like COVID, but why? So like explain it, right? Step by step, like I'm 5.
Well, a ton of people started. Well, when jobs opened back up from COVID, a ton of people was trying to scramble out, try to get jobs so they can get back into the working community. Sorry, I've been sick. And
so supply was down and demand was up.
Pretty much.
So what if I told you that Trump made our supply go down?
Well, still better than Biden.
What if what did Biden do to make gas prices go up?
Okay, so let's think about this. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt in 2021, just coming off COVID. I get that. I understand that. But if we go to that top one in 2022, it just skyrocketed back up. And
but why?
I don't understand that. That's 2 years
like instead of just saying who was in office, can we just be like, hey, maybe like whatever that did that, we shouldn't do that anymore. So like what do you think happened that made that happen? Biden or Trump, what do you think happened that made the supply go down? We shouldn't do anymore?
Well, we should probably stop trying to get stuff from China, and I get they're big, but we should try to start getting more American stuff in here and stuff.
That doesn't do anything for gas prices.
Not gas prices. I'm about to say that. But we start buying gas from other places and not drilling.
That's
if we
not
drill
true.
from here.
So this is going to be the EIA, the Energy the Energy Information Administration. This is what we look at.
No.
That's what, Cletus?
Come on, Cletus. Come on. Come on.
Do you have to go?
What?
Hello?
Okay. Are you gonna get out of my room or what? I'm waiting for an answer.
So I'm back.
Okay. So here's the oil production numbers for domestic oil drilling. This is 2017. Trump came in 8.8 million barrels. And if you look all the way down here where it ends, we're at 13.2 million barrels. So we are drilling way more than Trump.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I have to go do stuff. I have to pay rent. I'm behind on rent. Sorry. Have a blessed night.
You too, man. Have a good day.
See you. You too.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I didn't say it back. I love you, Pickles.
Thank you.
How you doing, buddy?
What's up, dude? Are you a Trump supporter?
I am indeed.
What do you like about Trump, man?
I think he is the deeply imperfect rapper on a much-needed revolution.
Okay. How so?
I think he has put together a team of people that seem to have both the competence for and desire to break down the system that is keeping us poor, sick, at each other's throats, uneducated, and at forever wars.
Let's go over his team.
Okay.
He's got 15 billionaires in his cabinet.
Cool.
We got Linda McMahon. She's going to be over education. How is she qualified for this?
Because her job is to, and I've used this joke before, so people will know, lay the smackdown on the Department of Education, not to improve it.
How so? What do you think the Department of Education does?
They filter money that should go to districts and put it through Washington bureaucrats, and then they do a bunch of things that somehow...
Without the spin.
What?
Without the spin, what are they supposed to do?
I mean, they do deal with Title I, they deal with special education, they deal with a whole bunch of things.
And states that are like red states, most of them that can't pay their own bills, do they receive a lot of money from Department of Education?
They receive an outsized amount.
And what will happen if we get rid of the Department of Education? Will they receive more or less money?
They should receive their share, which would be less.
Anyway, Linda McMahon, random billionaire running the WWE with numerous sex scandals. Anyway, we've got
wildly successful entrepreneur. Wildly successful.
But okay. Just because they're wildly successful doesn't mean I would have them help me do, I don't know, build a website, or like they may have like ran like the WWE, but like they have what does she know about education? Does she have years of like experience going over text or going over like the needs of different districts and counties, going over like special needs?
If her job was to improve the Department of Education, we could have a discussion, but her job is to get rid of it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to the next one. Let's go with Felon. Do you know who that is? The guy that's going to run the Navy.
I don't know him personally. I mean,
he's a billionaire. He worked with Dell. He had a whole office of 4 people, and he's just this fat dude that's a billionaire, and he's going to run the Navy. Never was in the military whatsoever, just rich. What's he going to do for the Navy? What's he qualified to do?
That sounds like a questionable pick then, the way you described it. I don't know whether that is with or without spin, but I'm inclined to agree that
he just did stock trading for Dell. That's it. And then
was he in the Navy? Was he in the Navy?
No, he's just this fat dude, non-military.
Listen, I would say that it seems to me that the overarching sort of theme for his picks have been loyalty, since his intention is to break down systems that sort of require that the people are not compromised. Right? Because like if you're getting rid of corruption, you need people that are like deeply loyal to the people that are rooting out
That's
corruption.
fascism. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. That's
No,
So
it's just
vertical
that's
power
fascism.
structures, loyalists,
If you're trying
yes
to
men.
dismantle, if you're trying to dismantle a system, then you don't want people from within the system trying to help you dismantle it. You want people that are solidly outside that system.
Okay, so you're just saying that his job is to dismantle, not to do anything productive.
No, I think that like by dismantling the majority of the graft and corruption in our government, that you improve its working efficiency.
Like I just think this is weird. So Trump, the man who's got more luggage than I don't even have to tell you, he's got more luggage than any person walking the earth. He's going to be the arbiter of what's corrupt.
I know, crazy, right?
And the lady, like the AG that he appointed, literally he paid her 25 grand to step down from a like fraudulent university that he was conning people with. Step down from as Attorney General of Florida from pressing charges.
She was pressing charges. Interesting. Well, it seems like if she was willing to press charges against him while she was the AG of Florida, that seems like maybe not a total loyalist. In fact, many of his people that you say are all about the loyalty are people that have changed their minds about him.
Literally anybody who works with him changes their mind about him.
No, some people change their minds the other way, right? Like the people that worked with him on their first term, you will constantly say change their minds in the other direction, right? Like they went from liking him to not liking him.
They went from liking to not liking him to being threatened with their jobs. And like Ted Cruz, after you call someone's wife a dog, you don't go around and kiss the ring and say he's the best president of your lifetime.
No one is going to say that Trump is not, although fairly representative of who you might expect a New York City Republic, like,
That's gonna piss
New York
off
City
New
isn't
Yorkers.
exactly known for our civility and manners. That's not our overwhelmingly, but he is very successful at sort of, he's now won the presidency twice, and he's had an entire life of success in the spotlight, and he's a pretty impressive dude. He's an asshole.
He has not had an entire life of success.
Listen, no person in business has had a spotless record of success.
No. Do not say that this is just like the run of the mill, like heaps of like, obstacles as a businessman that you're into. Trump has a notoriously disgusting background in business. Disgusting. And he has done tons of things. He's there's a whole website called trumpfile.org. You can read it. It goes through the whole thing, and everything that he's doing right now in the spotlight, he's been doing his whole life. Like every time he's in a lawsuit, he's like, "Oh, they're coming after me. They're it's the government. It's he's done it. He's done his whole life."
I hear you, and there is certainly many abject failures in his discography of business, right? But this is like when people are like, Elon's an idiot. I'm like, well, if he's an idiot, then I want to be an idiot. And if Donald Trump is a failure, then I want to be a failure, because I would like to be a two-term president and the richest man in the world. So we have to redefine, or at least have some concept of how your sort of like lowly definition of what a success is doesn't really mean much stacked up against a man who's been in the news my entire life. I read his book when I was a kid. I watched his TV show when I was in high school. And this idea that he is a failure and only a failure is just like false.
He didn't write that book, by the way.
Of course, yeah, I know that. Obviously.
Okay, so you didn't read his book because he didn't write a book.
Okay, well, I read the book. I wouldn't have expected him to
You would
sit down
know
and
the
write a
art
book.
of the con then. Like even when you lose, you announce that you win. Like this is what he does, and unknowing
Roy
people
Cohn.
fall for it.
Roy
And so
Cohn,
yes,
not
like
Donald Trump.
I'm sorry, Roy Cohn?
Roy Cohn, not
Yeah, well,
Donald
Donald
Trump.
Trump is Roy Cohn 2.0.
I'm saying, but it's important to recognize that he's like a human who had a mentor who gave him very specific rules, and then we attribute them to be some sort of like, like character defect, and it's like not. There is operating system that has made him very successful.
So you're aware of all of this?
Yeah, of course.
Have you watched Where's My Roy Cohn?
No.
You should.
I mean, Roy Cohn is a fascinating dude. Certainly also problematic, but fascinating. I've met a lot of I've lived a pretty interesting life. I've met a lot of very problematic, interesting, successful people. Like it is not uncommon. And I don't think if you say that like being problematic disqualifies,
The thing is, the things you're championing and acknowledging that he does to be successful in business, you're inviting into the White House. So like him ripping people off, like becoming like a con artist, like you acknowledge these things and you're like, this is what you need to do to win. And we champion this. This is America. Like what he's doing now to our system is not for us. It's for him. He like, this, right?
Well, are you sure it's not that the American people are grossed out by what they see in the mirror, and not necessarily that he is somehow different than America? That he is in fact emblematic of America, and it's why it turns so many people's stomach is because they don't like the portrait that he shows them of themselves.
I mean, I'm not a fan of nationalism or
he was a big fan of Hitler, and he's just using all of the ways Hitler got elected to be elected. And he's not ashamed of it.
Listen, I'm a Jewish man. I was deeply sort of fascinated by how successful Hitler was. I mean, I found Hitler to be fascinating.
Do you not?
And I'm a Jewish.
Do you not frown on the people that use his techniques and champion his thinking?
Well, so here's the thing. If the techniques include wanting to wipe all the Jewish people off the planet, then I don't. But if the idea is that by using sort of like populist rhetoric to gain political control, like that doesn't necessarily make Hitler a bad person. What
Holy fucking hell.
Hitler wasn't a bad person because he got popular in politics. He was a bad person because he then used that to murder 6 million people.
It got carried away. It got carried away.
No,
like
not
yes,
a carried away situation. Not a carried away. He had a specific desire to murder an ethnic group.
Multiple ethnic groups.
And by the way, it was such an obsession for him that he essentially gave up conquering Europe in order to do it. He would have conquered Europe had he not focused so much attention on the Jews.
It wasn't just Jewish people. It was a multitude of different ethnic groups.
I know it was Romanis and it was homosexuals.
I just got paid paid a kick, and thank you so much for the $25. Yo, that was
that actually made me sick. That actually made me
legs
sick.
were behind his head.
Oh my god. Honestly, that had.
Yellow.
Hello.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Kind of. Listen, like I could have. I can't vote because I'm European, but I just wanted to bring up like different point of view because I'm a European. And I lived in the States for a year, so I lived in the States like 07, 08 when Obama got elected.
Okay.
Sorry about my language. It's my English is not that great. It's my third language, but yeah, like I think you have like. The options you have, like you have only like 2 parties. Like in Finland, where I live, we have like 10 parties. We have like, you can vote for 10 candidates at an election. like you have if you call like Trump like a criminal and you don't like the other ones like Kamala's policies, what do you have?
Right. I don't
You
know.
have
Like
only like two.
honestly,
Either you like left or right, or you go this direction or this one. There's nothing in like. I think you need like more options.
sure, I
Kind of.
agree. The only
You know
thing
what I mean?
stopping us from doing that is mostly Republican right-wing policies. So yes, if you feel that way, you vote left.
Yeah, like we have 10 candidates. Like if there's one criminal, you don't like someone's policy. There's still 8 left. You know
Sure, I get that. I
that you
don't
can
know. I don't want
vote.
to speculate too much on how our politics compare to that because I know this, and I don't know. Like this is a this is like the conversation I have. 2 weeks before the election, everybody's unhappy about the way it is. I would rather just hear what do you think you like about Trump.
Well, like I said, I kind of like Trump from European point of view. Like he kind of woke us up that like military wise we cannot rely on the US that much, like we joined NATO like a year ago,
So that
and everyone just relied on NATO and the US, that if the war starts, if Russia comes, then US is gonna come and help,
that's a good
so
thing. What does that make you
yeah,
upset?
and upset. Which one?
Why does that
Like
make you upset?
it doesn't make me upset. Actually, I'm happy about that because like we relied too much about the states, and now like all countries are starting to wake up that we need to like put more money on our defense and military and all that. And
I don't
that's
know if that
what
really
Trump
tracks.
said.
Like, I think you can do both. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, we can do both,
Every
but
president has
yeah.
pressured NATO countries to invest more in their defense. That wasn't Trump's brilliant idea. He just did it in a way that was asinine and dumb and exploitable. So like when you go on stage in front of the whole world and you say the words, I encourage Russia to do whatever the hell they want if the NATO allies don't pay their bills, that would tell me as Vladimir Putin, dang, I should just go take Ukraine and make all of the Western or Eastern countries in Europe suffer, and if they can't pay their NATO bills, I can invade them free of charge. And that's
Yeah.
probably what he's doing.
Well, yeah, but like Poland and Germany, they started to like invest more. Like Poland is now like a
This is
European
probably
powerhouse.
because Russia. This is why they're investing more. Because Russia's doing what it's doing.
Of course, of course, of course. But we relied too much. Like if Russia started invading, we relied too much on states. Like the U.S.
I don't think this
Like, we
is
don't have
like
to.
I don't know. Like, so how is Trump good?
He made us like
When?
think about
In
it.
2022 he made you?
No, like just recently, like when he got elected, or yeah.
Listen, Trump is like he's been priming everybody to pull out of NATO. I don't think you're going to be any safer with Trump in office, bro.
Well, maybe not safer, but that was just one of the things that we just woke up. That maybe the U.S. is not there. Like
Brilliant. I don't know what that means, bro. I mean,
But-
yeah, Trump like
But yeah,
what if
'cause,
Trump
like-
fucks us up? I guess that's a realization I would have. What if Trump fucks over the US so hard that we don't have the US? I guess that's one way he could wake you up, but other than that, like it doesn't make sense. Like he's not the first person to pressure people to invest in their defense. Like if you're a country and someone tells you, "Hey, you should invest in your defense," you're probably thinking to yourself, "Yeah, no fucking shit."
Yeah, we should have, but we didn't.
I mean, they obviously
So
it's just a matter of being able
Yeah.
to. They obviously everybody
yeah,
should.
but Trump was but Trump was like so like harsh about it, like more than anyone else.
Okay, this is why it's dumb. Trump said that NATO needs to pay their fair share. Do you think that your country pays us? Do you think we pay y'all?
Well, like in Finland, we have a different kind of system than in anywhere else in Europe. We have conscription, so every male has to go to the military, so it's a little different than.
But do you think your country has a dollar liability that we need to worry about? Like when Trump says if they don't pay their fair share, we won't protect them. Does that mean they're not paying us enough money?
No.
Right, because they don't. They don't pay us any money. What he said was remarkably stupid and does not track and doesn't make sense. And if you're a world leader like Putin or Xi Jinping or Kim Jong-un, you'd look at that, you'd listen to that, like, he doesn't know what NATO is. That's what I would say to myself. Be like, that guy's fucking dumb.
Yeah, but yeah, like you look at Ukraine, like how much they get from the States, like
okay,
armor vehicles, tanks, planes, all that is giving them.
Yeah.
Ukraine had a bad military.
Yeah, and they're fucking rocking Russia. They're rocking their faces.
yeah, and the USA helped.
Yeah, we gave them
They
tanks.
would've
We made these tanks in the 80s and we gave them to them. That's how bad Russia's military is. They're getting fucked up by shit that's 40 years old.
Yeah. They have tanks from the 60s.
Yeah.
And now they're getting North Korean